Get flipping stuck straight into it, Marty. We've been, sorry, yes, by the way, I have a thing, Martin, where I immediately give people nicknames without them even asking. So I've already called you Marty, and I have only met you for 5 seconds. If that annoys you, please are you Martin, or can I call you Marty or Mart?
No, you can call me Marty. Funny, everyone calls me Marty.
Yes.
Apart from my mum, dad, sister, and my girlfriend. And she hates people calling me Marty.
And you're as in they prefer you Martin?
I don't know. My mum and dad family, obviously, they give me the name.
Yes.
Right? So they've called me Martin. But for some reason, my girlfriend, Laura, hates people calling me Marty.
Yes.
Says it doesn't sound right.
So does she cut people off and all? Does she stop them?
I think she has once or twice.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is that annoys her about it, but I suppose she's probably only ever knew me as Martin. And then whenever you introduce her, after you meet a while, you introduce her to your friend circle, then she hears Marty.
Yes.
And she's like, no, it doesn't sound right. You're not Marty, you're Martin.
Well, funny, see with our wedding vows, me and Nicola, she calls me Souter.
Right.
As in everybody calls me. I very rarely get Chris or Christopher. I get Souter, and our wedding vows where I take the Souter to be my lawful wedded husband. So you can imagine. But here I've got a great story about that, Marna. I don't know if we've started already, but yes, you got to hear the story.
Roll it.
So I have this thing, as I say, where I give people and Martin, honestly, I don't even know I'm doing it. It just comes out.
Just happens.
Right, and I don't know if it's part of the way I deal with customers and deal with people. And I try and make things very friendly, and try and create like a friendly atmosphere. I don't know whether that's just my attitude to how I serve people or be around people, etc. But we had this great customer. Flip up, I wonder is he dead? He might be dead now. Anyway, right? Flip, I actually don't know this. Before I tell this story, I should actually fact check this. And the guy owned a local hotel, very prominent local hotel. He was a very prominent businessman, and his name was Francis. Right. And he came in and he bought his suit, etc., etc. And he was buying stuff off us for years. And he was my dad's customer, and then he was my brother's customer. And then I inherited him as a customer. And just something on one day, he came up and he put his hand out to shake my hand. And I was like, well, Frank, how are you? So I immediately shortened Francis to Frank. And he had this grip like a vice, one of those guys that's he's been shaking hands his whole life, right? And he had this grip and he grabbed my hand, boom, and he pulled me in. So I obviously knew something was wrong. Yeah. And he pulled me in and he looked me dead in the eye, Martin, and he goes, Chris, it's always Francis. And then he let go of his grip. And my face must have went away because I was only young. I was only in business. I was only in the shop maybe, I'm flipping 6 months or a year or whatever. That taught me a big lesson about giving people nicknames very quickly. But it hasn't changed. Still do it.
It hasn't changed. Still do it.
Yeah. It's always Francis.
Always Francis.
Sorry, Frank.
I don't even know what I'm going to call you now.
Souter, I know. I get Souter. All right, Chris. Do you know what? Like people, Chris is fine, but most people just call me Souter. Like it is. Yeah. It's kind of stuck. Or Suits. Suits is another one that I get a lot of. Yeah. And it kind of fits with what I do too, doesn't it?
That's what I wanted to ask you, but
yes.
Before I do, as like I said, welcome to the next episode of the Results Roundtable podcast. We've already begun, so this isn't at the very start. I'm joined today with Chris Souter, since we've already talked about names. Here he is. Prominent businessman. Dominant businessman, I would say. You have got your finger in a lot of pies.
Good bullshitter. I'd count myself like that, yeah.
First question I want to ask you is,
yes,
what came first, the business or the second name?
Right, yes, good question. So,
is it real?
It is. My name is Souter, born a Souter. It gets worse, Martin, because my grandfather, who was Samuel Souter, married my grandmother, who was Rachel Taylor. Right. And I am not making that up. I can show anybody birth certificates or family trees or whatever else. So Samuel Souter, Rachel Taylor, they got together in County Monaghan. Very poor farmers back in the day. Literally grew up on nothing, all the rest of it. And then obviously had had 9. Get this right. Mum and dad. Mum's family 7 kids. Dad's family 9. Yeah, 9 kids. Of which one of them was my dad, Tom Souter. And Dad's still living. Dad was the originator of our business. I think he was the only one within the family, Martin, that's seen a little bit of kudos in going into the menswear or tailoring industry with having a surname like Souter. So he joined the men's game in 1968, and we went out as a family on our own in 1992, where he started up a company called Souter Menswear in Belfast. My brother then subsequently joined the industry. He joined in 97. I joined the business in 2011 after many years ducking and diving with cars for a long time because, believe it or not, actually within our family, a lot of our family went into the car trade. And that I was obviously, as most young men are, Martin, I was mesmerised with cars and got good at fixing them, you know, sort of more or less trained part-time as a mechanic and started a car body shop and was spraying and painting cars and fitting these crazy big sound systems. I was in the Max Power era, Martin. I don't know, you're maybe not old enough for this. What age are you?
I'm 33.
So you're 10 years my junior. So yeah, you might have just missed the Max Power era.
Subwoofers in the boot.
Totally. That was us. And you know what? Martin, honestly, I think within a time period of the world to be a young guy, a young man, was in the very early 2000s, the mid 2000s, in the Max Power era. It was just, if you're in the cars, it was just incredible. So I get into that, start a car body shop, kind of pushed away from the menswear because, you know, my brother was in it, my dad was in it, you know, the whole family, everything within our family revolved around the men's business. And I was like, I know better, I'm going to go and do something else. So I got stuck in the cars, found out very, very quickly, well, not very quickly, found out after about 7 years of being stuck in cars that didn't make any money. And had an opportunity to buy into the family business because dad was looking out because his health was going really, really bad, and you know the business was big enough to still hold 2 full partners. So made me an offer I couldn't refuse as such, and said, son, you know, do you want to come in, you can buy my share out, etc., etc. And we worked out a deal, and then over the next couple of years, that's what I did, Martin. I got out of the car game and got into clothes.
That was actually my next question to you then. So have you ever had a normal job, or you always been self-employed?
So I studied electrical and electronic engineering at Queen's University. So I came out of school, I got a scholarship on Nortel Networks, which back then were a big tech firm. They ended up going bankrupt. But they employed me as such from within school as part of their technical academy. They took on 30 students every year, and you went and did exams and went and did interviews with them, and then they took you on as a technical academy student. And what that meant was that they paid me, Martin, to go to school. So whenever in my last year of A-levels, I was on the Nortel Networks payroll, getting money every single month. And what they were trying to do was buy my loyalty for whenever I went to the university. So I had to study electrical engineering, and whenever you came off the summer, you had to go and work in Nortel up in Monkstown, and that's where they got a wee bit of payback from it. But again, they paid me a fortune. So back then, tech was massive back then.
They went bankrupt, they were paying people for nothing.
Honestly, there was 30 of us every year, and they literally were throwing thousands at us. What they were trying to do was buy our loyalty, so that whenever we did our degree and came out of our degree, that we went and then worked for Nortel. But the thing was, they didn't make me sign any contract. I was literally on their payroll, getting money, technically for free, right? And it was incredible. But so here's the rub. If Nortel hadn't went bust, I probably would have went and worked for them. But because they went bust after like my first year, or were going bust after my first year of university, I decided to do something else. And back then, I had a side hustle with a really good friend of mine called Chris Quinn. It was called SQ Design, and that's when we get into the car stereo stuff. And then the car stereo stuff went into the car bodywork stuff, and the car bodywork stuff went into mechanical stuff. And then we took on a big premises up in Saintfield and did that Max Power stuff for years, for 7 years. I know it's so different than what I do now, like it really is.
Flat out John 44, were you?
John 44, Really Mean Sounds. I sponsored Really Mean Sounds. I was one of the founder members as such of John 44. I haven't seen John Sample in a long time. But yeah, and you know what, Martin? The best, literally, legitimately the best days of my life. That's how I met my wife. That's how I met most of my close social circle of friends. We had the time of it. It was incredible. Got arrested, all that sort of stuff at the same time. Worst times of my life too, and all that sort of stuff.
Arrested for what?
Arrested for just literally being a twat in a car and doing handbrake turns in a car park in front of the police when I should have just been driving and parking up into a car park space. Lost my license and Martin, that was a dire time too. Could you imagine?
I think every young fella that's in the cars is going to dick around in cars at some point.
Totally.
So, like, better doing the car park on the road.
Well, I done it right. It was actually a Max Power night. So you remember these magazines used to come over, and you had a big car cruise, and then you'd all meet up in a car park where the magazine guys would be there, and they'd be taking pictures of your car. And me being the show off that I am, I fly into Comber Car Park in my little Peugeot 106 with its wide arches and its big wheels and all the rest of it, and I'm sliding about in the handbrake, and then I go right into the middle of the car park, jam the handbrake on and do a burnout. Smoke everywhere, billowing, and I'm handing it the window, giving it to you. And I was a full hallion back then, Martin. And literally, as I flipping came off the accelerator and stopped the car, the police were watching the whole thing. They came out of the car. They actually ran towards me, opened up the door, literally grabbed me by the scruff, like one of those incidents you see in America. Do you know what I mean? Grabbed me by the scruff, trailed me out of the car, put me in the back of the police car. One of the guys then took me. I was locked up in a cell encumber, and that was the me on my way to lose my license. But it taught me a lesson not to do that again.
No, I was going to say a bit excessive for doing it. Like,
but you know what? It was at the time. I was probably a victim of the evening because it was max power night and there was loads of boy racers everywhere terrorising the town as we do with our loud exhausts and our big subwoofers. They literally just made an object out of me as such. But do you know what the worst of it was? They left the car in the middle of the car park with the keys in the ignition, the door wide open. Now, and that's actually how I met one of my best friends then, who's since passed away. His name was Ricky Boyd. Ricky Boyd, seen what had happened, went up, reversed the car into a car parking space, locked the car, put the keys in his pocket, and waited until the police let me out of the cell and took me back down to get my car. Isn't that incredible? He didn't have to do that. Like, he just,
genuine nice person. Like,
lovely person. Sadly, Ricky Boyd passed away a couple of years ago. He had a lot of health problems, but me and him became bestest friends out of it. And I miss him every day.
Did not take you for a car guy.
I know. I'm still a car guy too, Martin.
I'm still overwhelmed by the fact that you are
I
a
was
car guy.
Car guy. So then obviously it came from being just a boy racer and being involved in the scene into having the business. We had probably one of the best names in the business, Martin. We were on the front cover of Fast Car, front cover of Max Bar. We did all the big fancy show cars. It was customizing cars, which was the main part of our business. But then as cars started, like in the mid-2000s, early 2000s, mid-2000s, cars then started to come with body kits and come with good car stereos and big sporty wheels and nicely lowered suspension. So we started to morph our business into more just accident repair and mechanical stuff. So the business kind of changed and we flipped and turned it around. But it just became really difficult to make money. Back in the car modified days, it was a license plate money because people were bringing us, say you had a Vauxhall Corsa, people were bringing us a body kit of a Ford Fiesta. And we're going, right, Chris, I want that onto that. Every other body shop in the country would go, sorry, mate, that's a Ford Fiesta body kit. And you've got a Vauxhall Corsa. Whereas me and Quinn were like, all right, sure, give us 2 weeks. Come back and we'll sort it. We cut it in the middle, cut at the edges, put it on, taped it up, fiberglassed it out, made the edges meet underneath the lights, made new brackets to bolt it onto the front, cut the side skirts and remolded the side skirts so they fitted. Same with the back bumper. And all of a sudden you had a Ford Fiesta body kit on your Vauxhall Corsa and then painted it a fancy colour.
That whenever I was growing up, those days were coming to the tail end. But even when I was growing up, you still had a few people that had like the big wide body kits, and you're like God knows where you've got that and got someone to fit it. But like your car shouldn't look like that. Yeah. But it looks cool.
Here, it's coming back. Oh my goodness, Martin! See the scene now, the modified car scene. It is coming back, mate. I might get into it again. As the grandfather, because it's actually this is actually a really good story. I remember back in the day, whenever we used to go down to Banter car park, there was this old granda, a granda. He must have been in his 80s, and he had this Rover 214. You probably don't even know what a Rover 214 is. He had this Rover 214. Or was it? Yeah, it was a 220. Anyway, whatever it was, a 2-litre turbo. Might have been the 220. It was a Rover 220. Sorry, coupe, massive, 2 4-inch exhausts. Big wheels, lowered to the deck, and he was just the best crack. And he was 80-year-old. He used to come and chill out with us on a Sunday night, and we were all just like, see what I made it. I want to be like that guy, So like literally, that flying, and we're gonna knock it out. But literally, maybe that's gonna be me in a lot of years,
Well, fingers crossed, because there's that old like cliche saying, you're only as old as you feel.
As you feel, I know.
So
I know.
You do see some old people, and they're still jumping around enjoying life like they are young.
Oh, well, look, he did. I forget his name now, Martin, but he was just like, I don't know, he never ever seen his wife running with him, so maybe this was just his way of keeping himself young. But
something to do.
Yeah, it's the car scene's there's definitely a wee bit of a lift in it now. I see a lot more kind of modified stuff floating about, and there's still car shows now that you can go to.
We actually do a lot of work for the drifting scene.
Yes,
and
love that.
I didn't realize, I knew it existed, but didn't really look into the world
and how big it is and how big Ireland is drift wise.
Yes, I started doing merch for it, meeting a lot of the drivers. Doing merch for different drivers, and it's mental because you have your fellow James Dean.
James Dean, yeah, McKeever.
Yeah, so you have Dwayne McKeever, you have Kevin Quinn.
Absolutely. Kevin, good friend of mine. Know Kevin well.
Yeah, I actually know a podcast.
Yes.
Interviewed his brother the other week.
Did you, Ryan? Did you, Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan traded me for ages. Ryan's a top lad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have drift games.
Yeah. Like literally, we are like within the world. Ireland as an island as such, we are flipping top of the world. Like.
Yeah, they're up there for drift. All the top drivers are all Irish.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, them drift game boys.
Incredible.
We actually do their kids merch.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And like some of the designs they have for all the different cars they make, like, cause so whenever they're making a new car, sometimes they send me over a design to do the kids merch.
Yeah.
And like you're looking at it going, you've made that. Like it was one we done last year, and it was an RX-7.
Yes.
And they had partnered with, God, what do you call them now? Liberty Walk.
Stop it.
Yes.
So like a big white Liberty Walk used to do white arch kits.
Yes. So they had partnered they're Japanese, are they?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
So they had Drift Games had partnered with Liberty Walk on this RX-7.
Love that. Oh.
So Liberty Walk sent over the body kit. Drift Games has done it, and then I printed all the merch for the kids, and then I sent it off to them. They had an event like a week or two later, and then they sent me photos of the merch of the car.
Stop it! Sounds amazing.
On top of the car.
Yes.
I actually give it to Rand to put in this here because it was one of like.
I love that.
It was one of the coolest moments where I was like, "Shit, I printed that."
I did that. Yeah, like I love that.
Now, nothing to do with the car. I didn't touch the car.
Doesn't matter. You did the merch.
But someone sent me a photo of the car, and I stuck it on a hoodie.
Yeah. And as you were saying, Martin, like this business only started as a side hustle for you too. Now it's business.
Started as a side hustle 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Now premises, we're actually running out of room for premises. For that much machines, employ a fella part time. So
incredible.
Like it's grown. I was talking to you on Phil Graham's hike.
Were you? Yes. That's where I know your face from. Yes. That's where I know your face from.
What did you I asked you about, so I was struggling with the jump between employing myself and employing.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm responsible for their wage. What
yes.
happens if I have slow months? I remember what you told me was,
cheaper scope was good.
Your business didn't grow until you started employing.
That's the truth. And that's the truth with all businesses. Yeah. See, until you can replace yourself in a business, which to be fair, Martin, even our businesses probably wouldn't maybe be as profitable as they are without us, because we've kind of went at it. I'm great at giving advice, Martin, and then not doing the flipping same thing myself at the same time. But yeah, people are your business. That is how you grow. Now the sad thing is with the ours, like the menswear game, it's our name, it's our brand, it's our family history. It's generally me and my bro and another couple of guys. I would say it probably would survive, and it would probably take a wee bit of a dip, but it would get its way back because our guys are great. But like it's difficult whenever you come up through an entrepreneurial business to let go of stuff too, and to be able to let go of not as much ownership but control. But that's the way any top class business person or multi-millionaire, billionaire will tell you. That's what they've had to do. You have to let it go. Maybe that's why I'm not a flipping multi-millionaire, Martin, because I've never been able to fully let go. Do you know? I just love the way our business are revolve around me and my brother and the family and the history and the name and that sort of. I love that. But it's probably hindered me, Martin, by having like we had 2 shops in Belfast at one time. I know me and you're gonna get that fly. See when it comes near, one of us just whack it.
Box it.
We had 2 shops in Belfast, and we found that worked because one of us were in one and one of us in the other. Now we've amalgamated the 2 into one bigger shop, but it's part of the reason why we've never expanded and done Souter menswear shops or Souter Brothers shops all around the country, because we're like, nah. The guys wouldn't do it the way we would do it, but that's probably a fault on our part, Martin. But the thing is, I suppose if you're getting enough, this is maybe an angle on the counter to that. If you get enough out of the one smaller business, you don't always have to expand out too big. That's the thing.
No, so sometimes you expand too big and then all you're doing is eating your time.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I have more money, but I have no time to enjoy it.
Exactly. So like we've always just done, we've got enough to run our kind of lifestyle out of what we do, so we've never really felt the need to we fly to, oh my goodness, I feel like Mr. Miyagi.
Well, you're a pro bot. Did you get it?
No. He did.
There we go.
Did you get that on camera? That's on camera?
He did. I can't look at that, but
Miyagi sound work? I can say I'm going to actually feel bad now. A curvy fly. People can't say I wouldn't hurt a fly because obviously would. It just killed one.
That's going to keep catching me.
I used to be a ninja as well, but back in my no, I didn't.
Well, you're a boxer?
Yeah, the boxing.
You boxed Andy Malone?
Oh my goodness, what an experience that was, Martin. Yeah, loved the whole thing, right? So, me and Andy, bit of backdrop to anybody that's watching the pod that maybe doesn't know the crack. Andy Malone is a guy from Newry who's actually a friend now, so I have to watch how hard I go at him now these days.
Because there was beef at the start.
Oh, there was proper beef, like, so he tried to create he had a meal prep company called AMPX, and to try and raise his brand and raise his revenue, he went out there as this like online social media personality, multi-millionaire, private jets, Lamborghini type stuff, and it was all fake. It was all just made up, right? But
I actually remember someone catching him out on the fake thing.
Yes.
He posted this private jet going to LA.
Yes.
And someone had found the footage that he used on YouTube like 7 years ago.
That's right.
So of him,
That's right.
Of him in LA.
Yes, that's right. It wasn't him at all. It was just somebody else's footage in LA.
Yeah.
So he was giving it the full fake it till you make it, right? And you know what? That is an angle for some people nowadays. I get it. But my mate Nico, who does the watches on YouTube, he's Nico Leonard on YouTube now, 2 million subscribers.
I followed Nico, have for a long time.
Yes, Nico's class wee fella. So Nico called him out on it because he hates that sort of stuff, and somehow called me into it, roped me into it somehow. And anyway, me and Nico gave Andy a bit of slabbering about fake it, do you make it type stuff, and Andy took it real thick because he's seen that me and Nico had a bit of a following in Belfast. This is by the way before Nico was millionaire YouTuber, right? He's seen we had a bit of a following, and I think Andy's seen an angle for himself that I can pick up. So these guys are hating on, this is Andy, these guys are hating on me. I can pick up and leverage their hate against me for myself. So he came up with this whole thing called Troll Busters, made it out that me and Nico were trolling him, even though all we were doing was calling him out on his bullshit. That was a funny time because he really went for Nico, and he talked about Nico selling fake watches, and he was really went to town on Nico in episode 1, and I thought I'd got away with it because episode 1 was over, nearly over, and I thought, great, thank God he's forgot about me or something like that. And then right at the end of episode 1, and he looks in the camera and goes, Souter, you're next. And I was like, oh God. And I'm not joking you, Martin. And my arsehole just went like that. I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself into? Because like back then, none of us knew what Andy was like, but he was this real brash, bigger, larger than life character. And I'm thinking, he's going to make shit up about me that I can't defend, right? Because you know what? I don't have any closet Martin. I've had a lovely upbringing, you know what I mean? I've been a nice upstanding member of the community. I've went out of my way to help people my entire life. I try to live a really straight life. And I'm thinking if he goes diving and ducking and delving into my life to try and find something that he can bring me down with, there isn't anything. So he's going to have to make stuff up. Thankfully, when Trollbusters 2 came out, by the way, that week, he was kept going, I'm like a stone on your shoe, Souter. I'm living rent-free in your head. And he did. He was living rent-free in my head for that whole week. It was awful. And God, my wife was up to high-do, and oh, it was horrendous. And then he put out the Trollbusters 2 about me. And to be fair to him, he didn't make anything up. He literally just took the piss out of me, which was totally fine. And yeah, so anyway, that was fine. We've done a wee online thing where I phoned up and apologised to him and all the rest. Says, Andy, shouldn't have got involved in your business, which I shouldn't have done. At the end of the day, see if he's trying to fake it till he makes it. Look, that's his. I shouldn't have got involved. I'm not the internet police. Nico's very strong on this because that's what Nico's built his YouTube on.
I know, for Nico to be accused of selling fake watches, he actually, if I'm right, Nico became famous for calling out watches.
Correct, right? So this is where Andy was trying to hurt Nico, and it didn't work for him. Nico sent him a solicitor's letter and everything. And in fact, in the Trollbusters 2, Andy's holding up Nico's solicitor's letter and ripping it up in front of the cat like he's a fucking nutcase.
Oh, I remember Andy. Like I followed him quite early on social media, and like you said, he was a larger than life character.
Larger than life,
just didn't give a fuck. He would say whatever he wanted, didn't care who he offended.
Yeah.
But it built that persona.
It did, and do you know what?
It built that character.
Still to this day, Martin, I have never met, so me and I'll tell you about the fight in a wee second, I have never met anyone, and I mean truly anyone, that literally doesn't care genuinely doesn't care what anybody else thinks. Some people say, I don't care what anybody else thinks, but they do. Deep down they do. I have had long, deep conversations with Andy Malone. He literally does not give one fuck what anybody thinks about him or anything else, because he is actually, right, so that we're going to the very end now, he's actually lovely, he's actually really sound, he's actually really smart, right, he's really sound, he's got a great business, he does stuff in Dubai, off-plan sales in Dubai, he's made a load of money, doesn't need to prove anything to anyone, yet he still goes out and becomes Andy Malone the Instagrammer, just purely to wind people up, and he loves the hate, like he feeds off it. But anyway, so right, back to the fight thing. So that was fine, went on for about A couple of years passed, and all of a sudden Andy was wanting to get involved in this misfit boxing scenario where Instagram people or social media people fight each other. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden he gets hooked up with Michael Conlon, and Michael Conlon's doing a podcast with him or whatever it is. And he's like, who do you want to fight, Andy? And he calls out me and Nico. He goes, I'm going to fight such and such and such and such. But the first ones I want to fight Biko and Souter. And he goes and he looks in the camera and I go, Biko, Souter, I'm calling you out. I want you both in the ring at the same time. Me versus the two of you. I'll knock you out and all that sort of stuff. And all of a sudden I start getting these messages. Malone's back. Because Malone, it disappeared for a load of years. I go, Andy Malone's back. What do you mean Malone's back? Not even is he just back. He's back and he's calling you and Nico out for a fight. And I'm like, what? I'm on the phone going, what? Where is this? What? And then all of a sudden I'm playing and going, oh God, no. And I'm like, not this guy again. So anyway, the more I thought about it, right? So Nico just ignored him because Nico's big news now. Nico's YouTuber and all the rest. It doesn't need Andy Malone or even me or anybody else. He's doing his own thing. I'm going, me and Andy Malone in a boxing match. That sounds like a bit of crack. Because look, I've been into boxing, Martin. I've dressed all the boxers, Frampton, Burnett, Collins, Paddy Barnes, Tyrone, for years. In fact, the boxing community of Northern Ireland and the professional boxers helped put Souter Brothers on the map. Because whenever we changed, but something about business earlier on, whenever we went from Souter Menswear to Souter Brothers, whenever my dad fully retired, and then it's just me and my brother, about 2016, that was when Carl Frampton and Michael Conlon, particularly Frampton, was coming in at the height. So we were dressing him and doing all the suits and everything, and he was helping promote our business. So our business exploded back then, thanks to boxing. So I thought to myself, here, I'm going to have a go at that. So I got straight on the phone to Ryan Burnett and says, Ryan, see if I take this fight with Andy Malone, I call him out, would you train me? Do you think I could do it? And Ryan goes, Souter, absolutely no bother. He says, can you take a punch? It's like, I've never been punched in my life. He says, right, well, look, call him out, come up, we'll do a training session, then we'll find it out. So anyway, I went on the internet and just says, right, Andy, never mind Nico. Nico's not interested in it, but I'll fight you. And that was it. We met up and we had a handshake, got a contract and all signed, and that's it. We went and I trained then for 16 weeks. Andy trained for 16 weeks and we went in and we done the do. He beat me. But, do you know what? My ego got a hammer in that night. But Martin, he was massive. You know what? See, I watched I'd never met Andy Malone, right? And I watched a wee video of him. And he looked about 5'6" or 5 foot, big, broad, loads of muscles, all the rest of it. And I'm thinking, I'm taller than him. Don't care that he's bigger than me. I'll be able to sort that guy. I'll just dance around him and beat him at length. See, the first time I met him was in the Fitzwilliam Hotel to do the handshake and get pictures taken with Michael Conlon. He's 6'2" and he's massive. And I'm like going, I've already signed up for it. I've told everybody that I'm fighting him. I've been on the internet, giving it stacks at flipping. I'm going to flip and knock Andy Malone out. And all of a sudden I'm going, all right, Andy. And I'm going, fuck me, what have I done?
I'm going to say something, right? I've only watched him. I've only followed him on social media. And I thought he was average. I thought he was like sort of 5'10".
He's a monster. He's 6'2".
You don't see that through the camera.
Sure you don't. No. And that's what I seen. And you know what? When he had a wee bit of weight on and stuff, then I was massive. And I was just like, oh my God, what am I doing? And you see in our face-off, like Andy's up here and I'm down here. And he's like this and I'm like that. And he's pushing me and all the rest. And we're having the flipping banter. But I was like, you know what? I'm not pulling out of this. I'm going to flip and go with it. Because, you know what? See, I'd always wanted to get involved in boxing, join a boxing club and just see what it's like behind the scenes. So I got to see, Martin, what it was like behind the scenes as a boxer. Like me and Ryan, we trained like I was training for flipping Canelo. Do you know what I mean? I ate all the right stuff. I'd done all the sparring, done all the training. Lovely guy called Tommy helped me out too with the sparring. Tommy was massive. He just loved punching me. And yeah, do you know what? Great experience. Now, on the night, the nerves, Martin, that's the one thing that I would never do it again, because too many people, even recently, boxing-wise, are dying from it, because you don't play boxing. And Andy, being big bravado Andy, made us wear 12-ounce gloves and no head guards. Like, do you know what, Martin? See, looking back, see if anybody's watching this, it's one of the coolest things I've done and one of my greatest memories, but literally, probably, in fact, definitely the stupidest thing I've ever done.
I had a reason fighting their right flick.
No, I'm not a boxer. People that grow up with boxing grew up to, you learn how to take a punch, and you learn your body builds itself to be able to accept punches. Now, it turned out I could take a punch, which is great. But
good to know.
And it's good to know if we're going to do a fight. Well, I just want ahead because I'm going to head you back. But yeah, one of the stupidest things I ever did from a health perspective, because like Andy being 2.5 stone heavier than me, if he had got me in and against the ropes as he did and landed a couple of big digs, I could be flipping dead, Martin.
Like,
Do you know what I mean?
like
2.5 stone.
Like, fair play to you.
6'2", 4.5 inches longer reach. What? Like, it's one of those mismatched ones that should never have happened.
No, like if I was professional boxing, you wouldn't
Never happened.
You wouldn't
Never ever
be
happened.
allowed to fight.
No, but yeah, what an experience! What an experience that was. Never again.
Chris, how many coffee shops do you have?
I've only got here. Since you and I have talked to get this podcast set up, I now have none.
You don't have none?
I now have none.
Because I watched the podcast last night with you.
Yes.
Just a wee short one to sort of get a bit of a background on you.
Yes.
And it said you wanted to do 10.
Yes.
Is 10 still the goal?
None is now the goal.
None now the goal?
None is now the goal. So Suitor & Co. We opened up Suitor & Co. in 2021, right at the back of COVID. But it's still going. It's all is good. We've had it 3.5 years. As of the end of July, actually we're still going through the legals at the minute, but as of the end of July, I am now no longer the owner of Suitor & Co. Martin, honestly, the industry is just a nightmare. It's a total nightmare. Yeah. And there's 3 partners. There was myself, there was my wife Nicola, and there's our chef partner Anna. And Anna's been in the game 27, 28 years. She is industry hardened to it. She knows the crack. She's a brilliant chef, knows what she's doing. She's taken it on herself. See, for guys like me that's into retail, and Nicola, who comes from like a yoga background and a civil service background, and entrepreneurial, and Nicola in her own right too, like, it's a nightmare. See, dealing with people, dealing with the way the costs have now been so squeezed. Like, it's the hardest industry, honestly, out there, Martin, that I could even possibly think of.
The food side of the coffee, because surely coffee would be high margin.
Well, you think that, but by the time you now pay 42% wages, it eliminates any profit there could be in it. So every hot coffee that you put out, you have 20% VAT as a start. So say even you take it at £4, and you're like, our coffees are sort of £3.70, £3.80, £3.90, but you take it at £4, you know, immediately the guts of 80 odd pavettes, immediately VAT, you're in £3.20. Then 40% of your £4, £1.20, you've paid that to the staff to pour it. So you're back down to £2. Then you take out your coffee shot. Like, we are using our own coffee. We roast our own coffee through group work, called 1111. It's incredible. But per shot, it's roughly 72, 73p for the shot of coffee. Yeah. So now you're down to £1.30. Then within that, you've got to add in your milk, and you've got to add in any syrup, because we didn't upcharge for syrups. Say your milk's probably 25p, maybe a wee bit more, maybe 30p, so you're down to £1. So out of every £4 cup of coffee, Martin, you're lucky that the business makes £1 out of it. Now, out of that £1, you've got to take your rent, you've got to take your rates, you've got to take your electric, you've got to take your insurance, you've got to pay for people to play music in the place, you've got to pay, even forgotten this, 40% includes the staff and the PAYE and the nest. You've got to pay for all these other hidden costs, servicing the machine, all that. Martin, honestly, that's it. People look at £4 coffees and go, you guys are rolling in it. See, by the time I break it down, that there's barely £1 profit at it, and that's top level.
Before you run the
business. That's not bottom level. Yeah. There's no real money at it, like.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by These Wild Stories. If you're a newly engaged couple and hate getting your photo taken, then today's sponsor is perfect for you. Ran is a wedding photographer based in Armagh who pretty much specialises in relaxed, candid photography so that your wedding day doesn't feel like a photo shoot. You only have to go to his website to see what I mean. The majority of his work is capturing things that happen in the moment rather than setting up the shot. Ryan's wedding photography page is called These Wild Stories, and if you head over to his website and like his work, he's offering a 10% discount on packages if you get in touch and use the code word results to let him know you came from this podcast. So the website is www.thesewildstories.com, and it's These Wild Stories on Instagram too. Be sure to check that out if you or your friends or family members have just got engaged. Who was it? Is it someone Sinclair? Do you ever watch him?
No.
There's a guy, well, he is like an entrepreneur over in England, and he does like he basically invests in a lot of different types of businesses.
Yes.
I remember watching one with him talking about staffing costs need to be below 35%.
Absolutely. Actually need less. Ours are 40.
Ours are 40.
Yeah. I would say whenever we started in the industry too, Martin, back then, one of my mentors back then, a lovely guy called Darren Gardner, owns all the ground espressos. Darren says, Chris, you need your staff cost less than 25. He says that's the only way you can make, because the only way you can make the problem with our game is wages and waste. You know, waste of food, So you buy stuff in, and we cook everything fresh. See if you're throwing stuff in the bin, oh my goodness, that's just chopping your margin. If your business is too heavily staffed and there's not the income and not the revenue coming in to pay for that staff, your business is going down the drain too. So see, trying to find that level between having enough staff in the cafe and on the floor to be able to sustain the businesses coming in. It's really difficult, Martin. And see, like in Hollywood, very steady business. And you know what? RB Holiday, it's just Souter & Co. It makes really good turnover. Like, I mean, it's a really good cafe. But by the time you break it all down and then you look at the numbers, like we're one of the lucky businesses that we're profitable. There's been numbers put about the media recently that roughly 55 or 60% of hospitality businesses in Northern Ireland alone are running at a loss. We're in the top half. We're running at a profit. Now, it's only a small profit, but we're still running at a profit. So by Anna buying us out and taking over our shares, it means when you get to the end of the year, Martin, there's not 3 partners all looking to share. There's Anna. Anna she can have that all to herself and she get a nice living out of it. But would I ever get back into it again? Yes, Nicola still loves coffee. She still loves the fact that we roast our own and we do our own bean and blend. We'll do something with Nicola, I would say, within the next year, probably somewhere in Belfast.
No wee coffee truck again?
Maybe another wee coffee truck, Martin. Yeah, something like a hatch where you're doing coffee and treats and you've only one member of staff. That's honestly, if anybody's watching this and anybody that's watching this podcast and wants to know anything about the hospitality industry, or if they're thinking of setting up a business, etc., please come to me first. Get my email address, look me up. I'll give you all the advice, because what I hate seeing at the minute are guys open up particularly coffee shops like what we have, and they're offering they have a food offering, and they're treat offering and coffee offering, and they think they're going to make a fortune on it, Martin, when at the minute with VAT at 20% and the input costs still so high where they are, it's a lifestyle business. You have to work in it. Yeah. There's two ways to make money at it, and it's not a whole lot of money. Either you work in it as a lifestyle business, or you have multiple venues, right? So I think, like I said in that previous podcast, the critical mass, in my opinion, for economy of scale is about 5. I think if you had 5 coffee shops like that doing a certain X amount of profit a year, you 5x the profit, you can pay yourself a decent wage out of it, and you can put in a manager that overlooks the 5, But 1, nightmare. 2, probably even more of a nightmare, because I don't think you can split the management costs over 2. 3, good cafes, you might be able to make it work if there's only one of you, one partner. 4 is approaching critical mass. 5 is the number. So I think you need 5. I just wasn't willing to put in the time and effort, Martin, to do 5.
Your cost entry to 5 too.
This is the thing. All of a sudden, you're going another flipping 100 grand per cafe down the hole of input costs just to get it set up. And all of a sudden you're thinking, right, I need to be in this industry for the next 20 years just to get that paid back. So no, we're glad to be out, but we're glad it's Anna that's taking it over, because she knows the business so well. The wee thing's going really good at the minute, and Anna's so efficient with her money and with her numbers too. She can apply that onto the coffee side of things, and really, just because there's one owner, she can really keep control of it, and Anna works in it, and her partner works in it. So it's a really good wee lifestyle business for her. But yeah, so there you go. I know I said in that podcast I want 10, and I want none. Yeah, but it's not like here. That's what this podcast and these podcasts are about. There's horse's mouth. I'm not going to come on, Martin, and go, it's flipping flying. I'm going to have 25 of them and things are going great. I tell you, it's a nightmare. So we got out.
You have to adapt. Like, I originally wanted a clothing brand.
Yes.
Had a clothing brand.
Yes.
I now make clothes for other clothing brands.
Say.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we do uniforms and merch, and a lot of our stuff's merch. So don't have my own brand anymore, but
because you don't need it, because you're too busy. You're making your money doing everybody else's stuff, which is perfect.
I wanted the lifestyle that came with owning the brand.
Yes.
Well, obviously financial, yes. I thought if I got to the point of mass profit and could sustain a good life around it, I not only wanted the financial benefit of it,
yes,
I wanted it to be a lifestyle business, because I liked the idea of what it would be to run that business.
Yes.
We just couldn't get it profitable.
And Martin, again, that's a great lesson for anybody watching your podcast. The amount of people in the last 6 weeks that have came to, well, maybe the amount of people sounds like there's hundreds. I would say 3 people have came to me in the last 6 weeks, and probably 50 or 60 over the last year, asking about doing a clothing brand. I want to do my own clothing brand, and I literally tell them, guys, do not even look anywhere near. I want to compete with Gymshark. This is what and by the way, I'm all up for entrepreneurialism. I am all up for big, huge goals. But the money that it now takes, because there's so many brands, it's so diluted, that market. There's so many brands. You need you'd need £1 million behind you to try and do anything with it.
No, it is. It's like we were turning over good money, and just you were getting to the end of the month, and by the time you paid for your marketing, for your shipping, by the time you paid for your research and development of new products, there was just so much, like hosting costs, the whole lot. Everything just spiraled. It seemed like everybody was getting the cut.
Yes, and there was nothing left.
There was nothing left. Yeah. So everybody, basically, whenever we ran OneFit for the 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it was, we made everybody else money.
Yes.
We just didn't make money.
Yeah, I know, that's awful. Oh, I get it, Martin. That's awful.
And it had to come.
It has to get. It's only sustainable for so long, Martin. Before you're in the pan.
Yeah, getting older. We had to make a choice that, like, right, I need something to make me money.
Yep, it's either follow this goal and this supposed dream, or actually let's get our shit in order and let's start making a load of dough.
Yeah. So I went back and worked full time. Well, I kind of always worked full time around it because the business wasn't making money to sustain a lifestyle. But started with other jobs then that was like, right, I can work here full time, make a good wage alongside this. And then
side hustles are great, Martin, but I am a massive side hustler, as you know.
So
I love it.
OneFit was closing, and I transitioned to, like I said to you about the clothing.
Yeah.
I was actually taking sales off people for clothing.
Yeah.
Going to other print shops.
Yes.
And asking them to print the clothes, and just adding the small margins. So I was going like,
that is a business in itself, mate.
Yeah. So like I was earning 30 quid here, 40 quid here, 50 quid here, and I had 3 or 4 of those orders a week on top of my wage.
Yep.
And all I was doing was doing the organisation. Yeah. So I was like organising the clothes, dropping them in, picking them up.
Lovely.
And I was hand delivering everything because it was all like local around the country. So I'd have been like one day a week I was driving around the country.
Yes.
Doing maybe 300 miles.
Martin, there's gonna come a time in your life, mate, whenever you have about 20 staff out there and all these millions of machines, and you're flipping dealing with all these people, and you're going, do you know what? I actually wish I was just delivering, flipping a couple of wee jumpers here and there for 30, 40 quid every time.
Some days I do.
Some days I do. But
do.
Again, here, this is the thing. See, even us saying that is just all natural. Being a business person, owning business and running a business, that old saying, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it, Martin, and that's the truth.
And something that also taught me...
It's not easy, it's hard.
Something that also taught me too was, if I have to adapt again, I will.
Yeah.
So like...
You can be dynamic, you can flip, you can pivot.
If this business doesn't work out, like thankfully, touch wood, this business is...
I think you'll be alright, yeah.
Well, every year's been profitable. Every year's been higher turnover than the last.
There you go.
So like the business...
Consistent growth.
The business is going well.
Yep.
But transitioning from one to the other has taught me that like it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, and especially with the clothing brand, it was very ego-based.
Yes.
It was like, I'm a clothing brand owner.
Yes.
If I close this down, it's embarrassing.
Yes,
because it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then when they closed it down, I was like, nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Do you know
the only person cares is me.
It's you. Yeah. Absolutely. And I think, see, even that lesson that's taught you in itself, Martin, is just incredible. Because see, once you can take ego out of business, that's when business really truly starts to flourish.
Yeah, like near the end, I was afraid of looking like a failure, and then realised nobody cared.
No, there's honestly, and again, see, even if things did go tits up for me or did go tits up for you, whatever, you can go again. See, knowing that, it literally doesn't matter. Do you know what? There's always been this old attitude to business, particularly over here, UK, Northern Ireland, but you know, where, you know, feeling's terrible, and people will talk about us down the bar, and they'll say they feeling, like, see, when you go to America, which has got the vast amount of flipping billionaires, millionaires, and entrepreneurs that anywhere in the world, it's like a badge on their sleeve how many times they failed before they succeeded. We're not like that over here. We're like, fuck, we need to succeed from the get-go. Like, you know, and that's just not the way it happens.
Big time. I actually seen a quote the other day. Now, it's a wee bit harsh and disrespectful, so I'll try and like change it around again. Yeah. But it was like, people that don't do business talking to people that do business, and like, why do you do it? Why do you work 60 hours a week? Why this, why that? Why don't you just get a normal job, right? Yeah. Et cetera, et cetera. And it was, or what happens if it doesn't work out, et cetera. And it's like, if it doesn't work out, my worst nightmare is your reality. There you go. So my biggest fear is your reality, which is a 9 to 5. I can go get a 9 to 5 if I fail. Yeah. And it's like, it's a wee bit disrespectful to people with 9 to 5, because people are but again, that's just there's different wiring, Martin. And you know what? A lot of people are content. Sometimes I wish I was content. Yeah. Just to go get a 9 to 5.
Here, flip. There's days in our shop whenever things are going tits up, and my brother and I look at each other and just go, when I was going to work for someone. Do you know what I mean? And you go to work in the morning and you go home at night. And do you know what? There is a lot to be said for that too, Martin. You know, I still do a lot of mentorship with kids and stuff like that. And certainly the way the business world is at the minute, you know, I don't mollycoddle them. I don't tell them everything's wonderful. Just, you know, get an idea and go for it, and, you know, keep the goal there, and, you know, wake up every day and write your gratitude out, and, you know, just keep going. I just tell them, shit, guys, this is going to be hard. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you've just got to be ready for the hard hours, and you'll come to time and time and time again where you want out. And it's just those people that don't step out, those are the people that make it, but there will come times. Business is hard out there, and no one's making it, particularly governmental, government executive, even local councils, but even go top level Westminster. Nobody is making it any easier for business. In fact, they're making it harder, Martin. It's getting harder for entrepreneurs.
I'm in business 5 years. I've noticed it getting harder. The amount of extra steps, extra wee jobs, extra systems you have to use.
The red tape and the tax. Do you know what I mean?
Red
Once you
tape,
start
tax.
employing people, you're into more national insurance, you're into more PAYE, you're into more pension, you're into more minimum wage. Obviously, minimum wage up 12.21. One of the things that really hammered the hospitality industry, because it was very much a non-skilled. Please, hopefully, people take this the right way. A non-skilled. Job. It's like, you could bring in young kids at 16, 17-year-old. They got to wash dishes, they got to carry plates. You don't need a huge amount of skills to do that. Even people that are maybe even 22, 23, they've came out of education, they don't want a job. They just want something pretty easy to do. So you get them in and they've got them their waiting staff or their KP staff, or you know what I mean. You're teaching them on the job what they don't need any skills to do it. But you're now paying those guys £12.21, which is about 25 grand a year at the end of it. The industry just cannot sustain that. I get it totally for industries that are skill-based and you need a specific skill set, and that skill set comes with education, it comes with experience. Therefore, that deserves to be paid a certain amount of money. In the hospitality game, Martin, it's destroyed that game.
Oh yeah, because especially over COVID and stuff, like inflation, price rises,
Mm-hmm.
and the government's answer was increase minimum wage. But you're not paying it.
There you go. Just hammer the business.
Like every business.
Yep.
So people can't afford to shop in these businesses.
There you go.
So what we're going to do is we're going to increase the minimum wage. So all these businesses. So happy days, people have more money, but the businesses have to pay more wages. Meaning they have to increase their prices. So it offsets the money.
There's the disconnect.
And it's a vicious cycle.
There's going to be more money in your pocket. There's actually not going to be more money in your pocket because the businesses are going to go out of flipping business because they can't afford to pay you the damn wages. So you're not going to be any wages. You're actually going to be on the roll. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's tough, Martin. Now, the hospitality business, our industry particularly, is very robust, and I've I've made a lot of really good friends in it, a lot of really good mentors. I would lean upon a lot of guys that I know are in the same position as us and would love to get out but can't get out. And look, good businesses will last. It just means that it's just got really, really, really tough for them, and I actually just feel for them, Martin. I have a lovely friend and business owner beside us in Belfast. He owns AMPM and he owns Chubby Cherub, and like, God, let's see some of the stuff here. There's some of the numbers he's telling me that it just doesn't work. But he chops and changes and he's dynamic and he brings in this and he just tries new things all the time to bring in more revenue, literally just to stand still. Martin, this isn't even to grow his business. This is purely just to try and keep the business and pay the staff that he has now because of the tax rises and because of the wage rises, and it's awful.
So he's having to work his ass off, constantly come up with new ideas.
Just to stay where we were pre-Labour government, and let's be honest, the Conservative government before that weren't much better, but at least it was almost doable. We need the VAT thing sorted out, Martin. That's the one thing that the government can really change dramatically, that would just turn hospitality on its head overnight, is VAT. The South already has spotted it. By the way, the South already had the hospitality businesses on 13.5%. So they've seen that, look, hospitality is struggling. We need to help them out. Okay, drop their VAT. Drop their VAT from 23% to 13.5%. Done. Now hospitality VAT in the South is going to 9%.
Hold on, you said 23?
Yeah.
So is hospitality 23% VAT?
No, so up here it's 20.
Oh, right, okay.
Down south, food Irish VAT's 23%, but hospitality we're on a reduced rate of 13.5%, and now they're dropping the 9%. So that is immediately good. Like, there's many businesses in the South too that have went bust. Like, I think it's something like 3. Yeah, I think it's 3 a week. I think it's 3 or maybe 4 a week at the minute in the South are closing because they just can't make it work.
I remember on Shop of Town, a wee sandwich shop I go to, and lovely food. Like, it's my favourite spot in town for like just grabbing lunch. Some of the nicest sandwiches. But he told me one day that if I order a sandwich, right, VAT free.
Yeah.
Because it's cold.
Cold, that's right.
If I ask him to toast it,
20%.
20% VAT.
Yep.
And he's going, it's the same thing.
Same as I tell people about this all the time, Martin. Nobody ever knows this. You know it. Yeah. So take coffee. I pour the shot of coffee, right? Yeah. Into a glass. I let that glass cool down. I put that into an iced coffee, or put it into I just let that cool. Let's just take the shot of coffee, a double espresso, right? I pour double espresso into a hot cup. I charge £4, 20% VAT. I pour the exact same espresso into a cup, and I let it go cold. And I hand it to the same guy. No VAT.
That's what weird.
Isn't that nuts? It's absolutely flipping nuts. So this is where there's lots of different and it's 20%, like there's lots of different nuances that can be changed. And I think the executive, I think Westminster, I think everybody needs to be looking at it to save hospitality, Martin, because I do feel within the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to run into a scenario where you have very, 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 very few independent hospitality businesses, and all the rest of them will be multinationals,
Yeah.
flipping Witherspoons and all that sort of stuff.
And see, when you get to that point, it becomes so dominated that how do you start?
There you go.
So
That's it. The industry will be completely irreverently broken. It will never start again, Martin. This is the thing. And then, how do you make I was actually on Nolan's show talking about this morning. How do you make then a town centre or a cityscape different and unique? See, if we end up going down this route that all they can afford to be in a city is multinational companies, because they're the ones that have the economy of scale and the critical mass to make it work, and it rules out and does away with entrepreneurs and small independent business. What have you got?
It also does away with culture.
It does away with culture,
because you go into a coffee shop in Belfast, it's nice with Irish scenery.
Yeah.
Every one of them is different owners, different operators, different walks of life, and
you get something different from each one that you're in. You go into a Starbucks, same menu, same flipping cup, same buns, same. All of a sudden, you just more or less white label the whole flipping the whole industry.
Like when I travel and go on holidays, I love going to the local places.
Yes,
and I love trying local food, local coffee, local drinks.
Yeah.
Where like whenever I've been to Greece the past couple of years. I'm going to Greece again actually because it's just great.
You love it.
Where's the McDonald's?
I know. Is there no McDonald's in Greece?
They're in the airport.
Yes.
Fine, they're in the airport, maybe in a big city, but in the wee towns, the wee seaside towns, there's no McDonald's, there's no Burger King, there's no Starbucks. It's all local owned.
Yeah.
Local owned and operators.
Yep.
And you're getting to try the culture, and you're getting to try the taste of the country.
Here, it also keeps the money local as well. So whereas when some of these multinationals, if they're not locally owned, the money goes central then. So money maybe goes across the water. So all of a sudden we're working, getting your wage, going in there, buying a sandwich and a coffee out of one of those big multinationals. The money goes somewhere else, and then they don't even pay flipping tax, VAT, and
because
they don't pay into the economy.
Starbucks, the corporation that owns the rights to the Starbucks branding,
yes,
is in some foreign country with tax haven, right?
Of course it is. So Cayman Islands or something.
Starbucks makes $2 billion a year profit in the UK, right?
Yeah.
For example, I don't know what the figures are making up, but say they make $2 billion a year profit, right? Yeah. They then get a bill from this company
for the $2 billion
licensing fee.
There you go.
For the full $2 billion for using their logo and branding.
That writes off their tax.
It writes off all the profit. Means the company made no profit, no tax. And you want, how did that happen?
I know, it's so bad. And even the likes of, how do we save city centres? How do we save the economy stuff over here? Number one, absolutely getting those guys and getting their tax liability into the economy would be wonderful. But like digital services tax, like Amazon, how can Amazon drop ship stuff into the middle of Belfast and more or less pay very, very, very little tax? It's purely just incredible. There has to be some sort of digital services tax for all those digital industries that they pay into an economy at a certain level. Maybe it's just a blanket that puts on, by revenue. Okay, Amazon, you're doing 300 million revenue in Northern Ireland every year. You need to pay us, 20 million tax if you want to sell stuff in Northern Ireland. At the minute, they pay practically nothing. It's shocking.
They're not everywhere.
Yep, absolutely shocking. And yet business like me, like if I sell let's think about it this way. If I sell a suit and I have to post it to Ballymena, right? That comes from Belfast to Ballymena, and I get the money paid from Ballymena to Belfast. I immediately pay my VAT on that, and then I pay my tax on my profit on that. Amazon selling it from Belfast to Ballymena, pay nothing. It's ridiculous. Well, they'll pay their VAT. Sorry, they'll pay VAT, but there'll be no income tax.
I know. Yeah. I have this weird thought where I think there should be a business owner running the country.
Yes.
Because it's money. Yes. It's money going here for this, money going here for that. It's
treated like a PLC.
Yeah, it's the roads, it's the healthcare, it's the education. There should be a business owner running the country.
Absolutely. Well, funny enough, this time next year, what are we now? We're nearly into the end of August now. By this time next year, I'm running for council in Belfast.
Are you?
Yes. Now, I'm going to say this live on a podcast, I don't want to get any further than council. I don't want to go into politics. I'm not joining a party, except I'm going in as an independent business owner that I feel that by me going in, it'll hopefully then entice some other business owners to want to get involved in their local councils. Because you go back, Martin, even only even 50 years, probably not even 50 years, councils were made up of the businesses. That's who the councillors were. They were people that created and generated the money within the space, and then people elected them on how to spend it in the space. Whereas now, you just generally come out of university with a socio-economic politics degree type thing, and you go into politics, you join a party, then all of a sudden you get a wee cushy job as a councillor, and I'm looking at some of the councillors going, what do they really truly know? And there's some great councillors, but some of the young ones coming through, for me, I think it needs a balance of we need the young people too, because young people will always bring a young approach to it, and then we need a balance of slightly older people there that bring that kind of generational experience to it. But then we need business people in there that are spending their own money and can read a balance sheet, can understand profit and loss, and actually do something, or actually, people that are willing to put their neck on the line and do something and add their name to it.
Yeah, I actually don't like politics.
Good.
I think it's a waste of time.
Yes.
And a waste of money.
Yes.
And my point of view in that is based on one thing. All they ever do is argue against each other and get nothing done. Honestly,
and again, it's a power struggle too, and it's the one side against the other, Martin, and all they're trying to do is keep each other in power, because by the time the argument finishes, nothing is done, and then another election comes around, and then we vote for the same people. Because again, you vote for the same people, Martin, because there's nobody else to vote for. That's the thing. So I'm hoping by me kind of standing up to be counted, that I might entice another couple of people, particularly business people, that I'm kind of aiming at the business community. I want business people that are like, right, Souter's going in, Belfast City Council, say somebody in Ballymena, Wallace, or somebody else. I'm going to go for Ballymena Council. I'm going to go for flipping Lisburn Castlereagh Council. I'm going to go for and try and get involved.
But then this is a big problem, right? You go in there with great intentions.
Yep.
And are you just going to become part of this argument?
Who knows?
Because you're going to have all these great ideas, and someone's going to argue against you and stop you, and you're going to spend your term arguing because you can't do anything.
Very possibly. And you know what, Martin? The one thing that I will do, I will bring accountability to that council. Again, I will, because I'm very open. I do a lot of media, a lot of social media. I'm going to go in on a business card and on a Belfast card, because I'm very Belfast driven. I am Belfast first, but not Belfast only, right? I'm still about the wider economic region, but I'm very much about Belfast. And I'm going to get inside Belfast City Council, and I'm going to tell everyone that votes for me and the masses what it's truly like. And here, let's call a spade, Martin. I might get a year into my flipping. Number one, fingers crossed to get elected. Number two, if I do get elected, I might get a year into the tenure and go, this is a nightmare. It's a shit show. I might have to get out.
It's unfixable.
It's literally unfixable. I hope it's not, because again, I've got some really good friends within council on all sides, right, that I know are really good people, but they're just missing that little spark, that little ignition, just to really put their own thought process forward. They still toe a party line, Martin. That's one of that whole party politics thing, something that whenever I'm going to go in as independent, I hope to try and disrupt that model. That's the thing, and try and show that, guys, it's all right. I'm going to maybe put through things that I want. I would like this done. I would like that done. And I'm hoping that I'm able to cottage support from all sides, and then we can go out like, this is Souter's put this forward, but him from the DUP and her from Sinn Féin and him from SDLP and them from Alliance have came together and said, you know what, that's actually a good idea, let's back him on it. Rather than it being a DUP proposal, which automatically means the Shinners aren't going to back it, or it being a Sinn Féin proposal, which automatically means the DUP aren't going to back it. We need to get away from that. It's if they say this, well, I say that. That's, Martin, I have all these ideas. This could turn to shit. This could end up in nothing, right? But I am going to put myself forward. I'm going to try and get elected. I don't know where I'm going to get the time. I'll probably stop DJing whenever I'm elected, because I do want to give the job and the role its due diligence. And I do too much DJing at the minute, as well as all my other stuff. Something I'll have to give. So,
you don't really see your local councillor on the dance floor.
I know. Could you imagine flipping Councillor Chris Souter in the flipping nightclub? Yeah. Spinning the tracks. So no, I'll have to give something up. So that's probably what it's going to be.
Chris, what all do you actually do, right? Because I have down here DJing.
Yes.
Donegal House.
Yes.
You have a suit shop, coffee shops. They're done.
Yep.
What else?
So hold on. Yes. So I've got the men's shops. I've got one in the Belfast with my brother, and I've got another one in the Isle of Man with a lovely fella called Mark Noble, called the Noble Suitor. And we did have the coffee shop until till last month. And I have the property company, which I just have property rentals, and then the Airbnb thing is that's the Donegal Cottage. That's the like one that we let out to people short term. I've got another project going on up there at the minute, which is a shipping container, which is going to be stunning. It's nearly done. It's going to be another, hopefully, Airbnb type thing. But the DJing, it's the big side hustle. Yeah. It is just, and I host events and all that stuff. But the DJing, Martin, is just, it's incredible. Hard too.
Chris, you're obviously a very busy man.
Try to be.
You have a family.
Yes. Got kids as well. Got 2 kids somewhere and a wife. I know. Oh my goodness. And Martin, you know what I do? I say to Ava too. Ava's my 14-year-old. And honestly, because some of the clubs I do, one of the clubs that I do particularly attracts a slightly sort of 18 to 21, 22 crowd. And I've told her, like, literally, Ava, see, when you become clubbing age, I'm out. I'm not doing it. I'm just not. I can't. There's no way. I cannot be in a nightclub when I see young boys and all the rest of it doing whatever the flipping we would have done, Martin, back in our day. And I'm thinking, my daughter's in a nightclub right now. So, no, I'm going to get out of the DJing before then.
There's my dad in the decks.
I know, that's my dad up there. And like, I don't know if that's cool or that's awful. So, I'll keep my wedding DJ stuff on and my event DJ stuff on, but the club stuff, I might have to wind up then. That's if I'm not a counsellor by then.
Not a counsellor.
Yep.
What's a day in the life of Chris Souter like?
So, very easy. Yep. So, you might not have seen this, Martin, but a couple of years ago, August 2022, I had a full nervous breakdown. And by the way, I'm very open about talking about it. If anybody ever wants to reach out to find out about it, please do reach out, because it was literally the worst time of my life. And again, that came through, Martin, just being too busy and trying to do too much and saying yes to everything. I am probably, this is the rub, I am probably busier now than I was back then before this happened. But what I have now that I didn't have back then are tools to deal with it. So, awful time of life, Martin. Say full nervous breakdown. Spent the guts of all of August 2022 in my bedroom, literally wondering how I was going to come out of my bedroom and what life was all about and all the rest of that. I got therapy very, very quickly, and I also then went into a bit of self-therapy where I learned breath work and I learned meditation, and I got involved with Wim Hof and all that sort of stuff. And I just started looking after myself. I started supplements. That's how I got to meet Peter Baird. I just started looking at my diet, and back then I was living on flipping fries and Coke, and not like Coca-Cola, not that Coke, and burgers and kebabs. And I was very, I was still working out and doing that sort of stuff, but putting up pictures on social media at 2:30 in the morning after a DJ set with a big kebab, going, this is fucking great, and just. It's ridiculous, having breakfast before I go to sleep. That was my one, what are you doing? It's 2:30, just finished the DJ gig, I'm having breakfast.
And then
I'm going to go to sleep. So, started getting into wellness, and since then, Martin, it's my calling in life, wellness. I do lots of sauna, I do lots of meditation, I meditate every single morning. So, going back to my day, I wake up in the morning, my alarm goes off at 6:45. I wake up, I get out of bed at 7:10. I'm in my meditation room at 7:30. And before that, I've had a good big glass of water with some electrolytes and some MTHF or 5 MTHF in it. And I take some glutathione. Do my vitamins. That's it. Go out in the ground. I stand on the the grass. Do about 5 minutes grounding. Come back in, sit down in my meditation room. Do 10 minutes of Calm, which is an app called Calm app, which is incredible, guys. If anybody wants to be able to chill out, Calm app's amazing. I then do 10 minutes Wim Hof breathing. I then do maybe if I have the time, 5-10 minutes yoga. Do stretching, a wee bit of qigong. Then I get showered, I get changed, get the kids up to school. Nicola goes out to work if she's working that day, and then I go to work, and then that's me in the shop, generally most days, in the men's shop, and in the Belfast shop. Every day but Tuesday and a Sunday. I'm there Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then I come home, and I usually have my dinner, and me and Nicola would try and do a walk every night, or we'll watch a bit of TV with the kids, or have the crack with them, and then I do a sauna later on. I always do a sauna 5 out of 7 nights from about 9 o'clock on, and then go to bed and watch Northern Exposure, or maybe read a wee book or something like that. So that's my day. Now, Saturdays are generally same idea, but then I go home, I have my sauna early, I have my dinner early, and then I'm away DJing at 8 o'clock, and that's my way out the flipping.
I love how specific and detailed your morning was. It was like
love it.
Every supplement down to the ingredient, and it's like kids at school, work, home, TV, bed.
Yeah, that's it. And like, you know what? That structure, Martin, has really, really helped me. I used to thought I got off on my spontaneity as such. Like, I was just literally the most spontaneous guy you've ever met. I'd have thought nothing of waking up, or not even waking up, I'd getting up at 11 o'clock at night and just driving to Donegal for no other reason than to drive back home again. Do you know that sort of stupid shit? And then not getting to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning. Where were I? I just went up to Donegal for a drive. Whereas now I structure everything, and my whole life, Martin, is built around good nutrition, exercise. You'll love this next bit. So good nutrition, exercise. Let me see. Sauna, massive. Anybody that hasn't been into sauna or knows about sauna, please Google sauna. Just Google sauna benefits, right? Read it, soak it in. It's incredible. Sleep. This. See that? Aura ring. That literally changed my life, Martin, and let me explain why. So back whenever I had the breakdown, and before that, I used to talk about how I could live in 4 and 5 hours sleep, maybe 6 hours sleep max, and that was me. I was get up, get out, get at it every single day. 18 hours, sleep 6, 18 hours, sleep 6, 19 hours, sleep 5. And about how I just had all this energy. But what had happened was, over the years, I was diagnosed with asthma and COPD. Over the years, I had learned to breathe in the top part of my lungs, right? And the way the way your nervous system works is the top half of your lungs have all the sympathetic nerve endings. The bottom half have the parasympathetic nerve endings. Sympathetic nerves are the nerves that excite the adrenaline and the cortisol. They're your like fight or flight nerves. The parasympathetic nerves, the one down low in your lungs, they're the ones that are rest and digest. So I was consistently breathing shallow, Martin, because my lungs were that bad, and because I used to spray cars, I thought it was to do with that and all the mucus and everything. If I ever took a deep breath, I would go into a coughing fit, like asthma, and literally cough up all this shit. And I was like, you know what? I'd learned I was living in the sympathetic system, so I was fight or flight all day, every day for about 15 years of my life, until one day it exploded and I dropped on the floor in a ball, and that was a full nervous break. My nervous system just shut me down. It was horrendous. So by learning to breathe and learning to look after myself, I learned to be able to hit those parasympathetic nerve endings, and I learned how to chill the fuck out. So even though now I am really, really, really busy, I know, like, there's like next week I've got Monday. My brother's away for a week, so I'm in the shop all week. I've got Monday and Tuesday sort of normalist days, and then Wednesday night I'm all day working and I'm DJing Wednesday night. Thursday night all day working, DJing Thursday night. Friday night DJing, but it's only a 2-hour set, so that's not too bad. And then Saturday working all day, and then I'm doing a beach club reunion at 4 o'clock across the road in Thompson's Garage to 9 o'clock, and then I'm going from 9 o'clock into the car down to Portadown, down to Banbridge, down to the Downshire, where I'm doing a gig down there in the Downshire from 9:30 to 1:30 with Holly Sachs in the Downshire. And then Sunday I'm just going to collapse, because that's a bonkers week. But I know that in amongst that, I'll do plenty of breath work. I'll still make sure I'll try and get good sleep. But then on Sunday, Martin, I will just... Whereas
collapse.
The old me would have been Sunday, another day, let's go.
Oh yeah, let's go.
You know, so I now build lots of time to relax. And sauna's been a huge part of it, Martin. Because you go into a sauna, you try to do your 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That's 20, 30 minutes where I'm just literally chilled out. And relax and breathe and sweat. And then you read about all the good benefits of all the, you know, all the different toxin benefits within sauna, and all the stuff that your body, you know, absorbs through drinking out of plastic bottles. Like, I'm not one of those eco guys that runs about trying to solve every problem in life, Martin. I just try to control some controllables and try and live as healthy a lifestyle as I can without going too far down it.
I would kind of be similar, and I'm not over the top with it, but like small changes. So like, yes. One thing I still drink out of plastic bottles, but like one thing I done recently was buy glass Tupperwares.
Yes.
I'm like, if I'm heating up food twice a day every day, it apparently, what the study I read said, like, Tupperwares weren't bad.
Yes.
Until you microwave them.
Wow. And then that releases wee microplastics.
Yeah. So it's like mivicrowaving a plastic Tupperware is the worst thing you can do. And I was like, I'm doing this twice a day every day for years.
And here's the thing, those microplastics have been proven, Martin, that's what causes Alzheimer's. You know, it's all these little these microplastics that get stuck in your get stuck in your neurons in your brain and cause these plaques and these amyloids and stuff like that. I
didn't want to jump into your breathing thing, but I'm actually going to go to the doctor about my breathing.
Yes.
So same as your ring, Apple Watch.
Yeah.
I have a terrible memory, and I mean, like, it's worrying bad.
Yes.
Like, so bad. And I've been thinking about going to the doctor because I started wearing the Apple Watch to bed then. I was like tracking my sleep.
Yeah.
My REM sleep is like 5%.
Right.
And my awake time is like 25.
Yeah.
So whenever I Googled it and stuff, basically my REM and awake was back to front.
It is, yeah.
So I was like, I'm not getting any deep sleep at all. Like, my brain's not switching off to do like.
Well, you have your REM and you have your deep. Your deep is where your body's detox. That's like your brain detox. Your REM is where you're processing everything from the day and you're storing it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
so my watch had 4 sections. The deep on the other one was fine, but the REM and the awake was back to front.
It's your REM.
I was like, is that why my memory's so bad? Does my brain just not switch off at night?
Possibly. So if you get into sleep hygiene, then Martin. So again, sleep hygiene is just it's like a funny name. Sleep hygiene is where you are constantly making specific decisions on the rundown to your end of your night where you're going to sleep. So I have a really good sleep hygiene where I've got these sheets that I totally love. Right, they're fluffy, right, like a fleece, and I've got these three head or what do you call pillowcases that I love. Nicola knows that I will not sleep on any other pillowcase bar this pillowcase. And I light a wee candle that has I forget the scent on it. It's like a jasmine scent or something out there. Light my candle. And I stay off my phone maybe half an hour, 40 minutes before I go to bed. I read a wee book before I go to bed. I make sure the room is nice and cool. Sometimes if I've really had a stressful day, I'll do a contrast shower where I'll go in, hot shower, and then freezing cold, which I do in the morning, by the way, every day too. I'll do a contrast shower because, again, what that's doing at night. In the morning, the cold shower wakes you up. In the evening time, believe it or not, this sounds counterintuitive, the cold actually helps turn on the melatonin to get you to sleep.
Do you get that off Gary Braga?
Probably off Gary Braga. I'm a big Gary Braga fan.
I got off Gary Braga.
Yeah, so again, I would do that. So sleep hygiene, and then I try and keep the consistent sleep time. Now, that can vary because I DJ quite a bit. Whenever I'm DJing, obviously I can't stick to that. But then Monday to Friday, I'll make sure that I'm trying to get to bed between 10:45 and half. Sleep bed. I'll maybe be relaxing from 10, but I'll maybe be in my bed doing my lighting my candle, my sheets, and just literally chilling out, make sure the bedroom's cool, and reading a wee book, just trying to get myself settled down. So what the Oura Ring did for me, Martin, was I used to think I woke up loads of times during the middle of the night.
That's what I do.
Yes, that's what you do. Yeah. But do you not find that you fall back? Does it not show that you fall back off into deep sleep then whenever you read it?
Oh, my phone's over there.
Yeah. So this is where my mindset changed, right? I used to think, oh flip, I seen the clock at 1 o'clock. I seen the clock at 3. Oh flip, I seen the clock at 5. I seen the clock at 5:30. Well, Nicola goes, well, Souter, did you have a good sleep last night? No, babe, I had a crap sleep. I seen the clock at this, you know what I mean? And then you go about your day lethargic and, we went down, and then I also said I'm having to get my trance music on, and I'm having to flip and get a coffee in me and then before I get myself all pumped up again. Whereas whenever I started monitoring my sleep on this, and it showed me that in between the wake-ups that I drop back off, see, as soon as I learned that, I drop back off, Martin, that changed something in my brain. Going, so I am getting sleep. Maybe you are getting enough sleep.
So was it in your head then, because you were waking up, you were tired?
Yes, totally. But I wasn't, because the amount of sleep. And again, now, like yourself, I'm starting to I've delved in over the last year about the different types of sleep. All I needed to know back then was I got sleep.
You got sleep?
Yes, but now I agreed with you. You need to then work on your REM sleep and your deep sleep balance and your light sleep balance.
I wake up a lot throughout the night.
Yes.
But my data also shows me that I'm awake.
Yes.
A lot of the night.
So maybe you just need to do a wee bit more sleep hygiene, Martin, and just start working on.
I'm going to try sleep hygiene.
Yeah.
I will try a few bits, but I'm going to go to the doctor.
And magnesium. I use magnesium by glycinate. Yeah.
Yes, started it.
And I do it at night.
Blue Nutrition.
Blue Nutrition. Big shout Peter Baird.
Sponsor this podcast.
Big shout Peter Baird.
Roundtable 10% off.
In fact, is that right? Oh, I'm going to use that. So from Peter, I've got D3K2, which I take every day. I've got magnesium by glycinate, which I take before I go to sleep. I do his creatine, which is class, made with Create Pure. It's fantastic. I use his electrolytes. By the way, his pineapple electrolytes is absolute fucking worldly electrolytes.
That's the one I get. Great.
So good. Yeah. And every now and again, I should be taking this more often, but every now and again, I do the greens. I was on the greens for ages.
This is my problem with the greens. They're the only supplement that I take
Yes.
that I genuinely feel better from taking.
Yes.
But they're the one I don't take consistent enough.
That's exactly the same as me. I don't know if it fills me up or something, or I feel like by the time I've taken my K3D2 and I've taken my flipping multivitamin and I've done my electrolyte, I'm like, how much more can I fit in? And I really should actually, Martin, I should really actually take the greens to work and have the greens during the day, you know, whenever I've done my morning stack, and then have stuff to take during the day. But yeah, the greens is class too. Like
I genuinely feel like my stomach, digestion, bloating, everything, energy levels all better. But I think it's just because you're drinking it, it does taste like earth. Like there's flavors in it.
Yeah.
But that's how you know it's good. It tastes like earth.
It tastes like the soil.
Yeah.
You know, after having this conversation with you, Martin, I'm going straight on my greens again tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna feel great tomorrow.
Dust off the bottle.
I know. I've got 2 of them still sitting there, nearly full. So
some fashion questions because your name's Chris Souter.
Go.
Right. Do's and don'ts of style.
Right, do's or don'ts of style. Let me just speak for men, right? Because if I start speaking for ladies, I'll get a whole load of shit.
Well, we're gonna keep it on men here because
correct. So do's and don't do's. Try and build, if you're looking for that more kind of tailored. Look, and you're into suits and you're into jackets and into trousers and stuff like that, try and build a capsule wardrobe. So try and have trousers, jackets and shirts that all go with each other. That means you don't have to spend an absolute fortune. So maybe a navy, black and blue pair of trousers, you know, a couple of white shirts, a couple of blue shirts, definitely a navy blazer, maybe a light tan blazer, something like that. Something then you can chop and change and get lots of looks out of it. Keeps the cost down and keeps you looking different every time people see you. Most important do on all of that is get it fitted, right? Nothing worse than buying a jacket that you think looks great on you, and then your sleeves are way down past your flipping knuckles, your shoulders are wide and saggy, the jacket's either far too tight. There's nothing wrong with a neat, tight fitted jacket, but far too tight where it looks like you borrowed it off your wee brother, terrible. Or it's massive and it looks like you borrowed it off your dad, terrible. Leg length, very, very important too in your trousers. Make sure that you decide what level of break you want. Break is the amount that the trouser sits on a shoe. The most easiest to wear is what's called a half break, which is where the trouser just folds, creases one wee bit as it touches the trouser. That suits everybody. Some people that are into their fashion might want to have it cut short, so you show sock. Some people that might be into a more traditional style might want it sitting on the shoe. So yeah, do's definitely look up a capsule wardrobe. Again, if anybody wants any advice, ping me, and I'll tell you the sort of stuff to buy and get the stuff fitted. Another important thing is working out what style suits you and suits your body frame. You know, there are people out there that, you know what, there's nothing wrong with liking a style and going for it, even if it doesn't suit you. Even if I'm looking going, geez, that doesn't suit him. See if you like it, you like it. Absolutely, blow your load over it, get stuck into it. But if you're after something that really suits your frame and suits you, sometimes the best thing to do, Martin, is just go and get advice. You know, call into me, call into your local tailor and ask him, does this suit me? Now here's the thing, Martin, we've built up a very good reputation in Souter Brothers as just telling it as it is and telling people the truth. We've built up such a nice, successful business that we know we don't have to sell anybody anything. There will be enough money in the till at the end of the week to pay all the bills and pay us a few quid and everybody goes home happy. So you got to be careful, guys, out there. If you're getting into a shop and you're asking, right, what suits me, and they sell you a whole load of pruck that doesn't suit you and that they just want to sell, try and feel out the agent on the other side. Try and feel out the seller on the other side. Are they just trying to sell you something, or are they trying to advise you? We always start in our shop with advice first and sales after, because we find that the sales then come. People feel that we're genuine, we're authentic, we're trying to help you out. If we don't have something to suit you, I will make sure you walk out that door without something, because the last thing I want is my reputation is you going to a wedding wearing something that Chris Souter sold you that looks terrible, and your mate goes, oh, who sold you that? Oh, flipping bought off this guy Chris Souter Belfast. Well, fuck, I'm not going to see Chris Souter. Do you know what I mean? That is one thing we guard against a lot in our shop. The amount of people that come in all singing, all dancing, and want something, and then we send them out because we don't have it. It's, that happens quite often in our place. But you know what it does? It actually buys a wee bit of loyalty out of them too, reverse psychology wise, where next time they're looking at something, they'll always come, well, that boy Souter gave me really good advice and didn't try to sell me something. I'll go and see him again. Yeah. So,
do you look at other suit shops like yourself, or do you is there like a gentleman's guild in Northern Ireland?
No, there's not, and there should be. There should be. I am very friendly with all of them.
Our local one, do you know him?
Who is it?
Glenn Jamison.
I know Glenn the very best.
Statement. So like,
Glenn's a good lad.
right, yes, very, very good at it. He was my suit guy.
Yes. Couldn't go to a better shop.
Love it. Like, I transitioned from when I was younger going into the likes of Next and just buying an off the rack suit. I had a wet, that was it. Or my cousin had a suit, and my mom said, "Your cousin's got a suit there that fits. Throw it on. I'm only going to a wedding one night." That was like younger days and stuff. And then whenever I started, obviously growing up a bit and getting into like fashion and buying like more expensive clothes because you wanted to look well, Glenn had started the shop. Started going to him, and different experience.
Class. And you're now statementized as he would call it. So there's no need now for you to go anywhere else. That's the thing. And that's where small independent business, good business, the likes of Glenn, the likes of ourselves, that's where we win with people, because you go into multinationals and okay, the people serving you, they might be nice enough people. Number one, they don't really know what they're talking about. They're just doing a job. And number two, they're not worrying about, because they're working for someone, they're not worrying about getting you back in. See, when you're in my shop, if I can sell you something, Martin, I'm trying to sell you the next suit.
Yeah.
At the same time as selling you that suit. Glenn will be the same. By the way, yeah, Glenn's shop's class. Yeah, check out Statement Menswear. It's a brilliant shop.
I have full trust in him because, like yourself, like the environment, that's what I can relate to because I've experienced it there.
He's got that in buckets down there, him and his guys, and they're all flipping dapper and class looking.
Won't try and oversell. It's try
Do you like it? Great. Now you like it. Let's fit it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was actually one day where I couldn't decide.
Yes.
And I had to go to the wedding the next day.
Bet you just said take it to him home, drop back in the one you don't want.
Yep.
That's what I'd done.
Yep.
There you go.
Take it.
Good lad, Glenn. Good lad. That's what I'd done.
So the next morning before the wedding, up at third I went, Glenn, I'm keeping this here. Take
that one back.
Where the wedding
Sure,
was.
look, see what I mean?
Yeah.
That's good business.
Yeah.
That is good business, because he has now, number one, cottaged the relationship with you as a customer, but he has earned your trust.
Yeah.
And quite rightly so. That's, in my opinion, the way all business should be. Sadly, business is war in most other places. Business is just about trying to get the money, or as much money out of you. As I'm just talking retail, I'm just talking in general. It's about trying to get as much money out of people as possible. That's sort of why I like our industry, the menswear game, because we can build relationships with people and build trust and build a client profile. And all of a sudden you've got them forever, which is that's the lovely part of our game.
Yeah, like I
same
find,
as your game.
Yeah, I was going to say, even in my game, I find like, you said business is war, right? So in my game and in your game as well, I'm sure, there's a certain part of the industry where it's cutthroat.
Yeah.
It's price dominant.
Yeah.
People only shop on price. People compete on price, and really nobody wins.
Yeah.
The customer gets cheap dirt. The business gets bad margins.
Yeah.
And you're competing on price, and nobody's happy.
No good.
Luckily, I found myself in high quality merch.
Yeah.
So customers are coming to me from bad experiences before, looking like they've been burned. They've been
Yes,
burned before.
yeah.
They're coming to me going, "I heard such and such sent me your way. You've done great stuff, or I had one of your t-shirts from such and such," and they don't mind paying extra for better.
Yeah.
Which is great. But I just lost my thought there. Why are you talking shade? I can't
It's
remember.
good shite though.
Good shape. I can't remember.
it's good shite.
I can't even remember.
Well, we're talking about cottage and relationships, and now what you're saying is there, Martin, people now they've been burnt before. They've came to you. They've got exactly what they wanted. You know what I mean? You've worked out a deal with them. The money is what the money is.
Yeah.
They'll keep coming back to you.
Yeah. So I remember it again. So you said about business being war, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think those businesses look at business like war.
Yeah.
Where whenever you stop thinking of competitors,
yeah,
they're like your business friends.
I think when it comes down to price driven, Martin, absolutely. When everything becomes price driven, it is work because that's all you've got. We are a relationship based. Yours is a relationship based business, and mine is a relationship based business. Thankfully now particularly within Belfast, there was back in the day whenever it was my dad's business, there was a sale, there was a price culture. That's what I would say. You're all the other suitors, we always set our price. My dad was great businessman, great at margin, set his price, and then the other shops would always try to come in below us, because that was then part of their sales tactic. If you go around the suitors at such and such, in fact there's still a guy in Lisbon does it, it's and we can do it for less. That's their sales tactic. Whereas now, all the other shops over the last couple of years, because we became so friendly and we're so close, like Kells and Bogart and Andrew Watson and North. Yeah, actually, Kells, Bogart, Andrew Watson, North. That's us really, isn't it? And then us. Yeah, you only got 5 actually. We became really, really good mates, and we all help each other out, and we all try and keep the business within Belfast and within the independence. we're now no longer trying to cut each other's throats on price,
which
is great for everybody.
But I think that's good. I think that's the point that was the point that I was trying to make. You can look at business like war, and then you're competing against your competitors, or you can look at it like this is my industry.
Yes.
And when you start looking at it like this is my industry, you become part of the industry, immersed in it. You'll help out your competitors because if everybody can win.
Everybody, it's a win-win. Like there's even just take yesterday, customer in with me yesterday, got a jacket off me, wanted a light stone pair of chinos. We didn't have the size. I got straight on the Kells. Trevor, have you got this? Yes, I've got that. Right, I'm sending him round. Sent him round. He went round, bought the chinos, came back round to me, bought the jacket. Like it's classic. Like, again, that didn't happen always, Martin. But there's Kells got a wee turn, we got a wee turn. Customer got what we wanted. Customer's happy. Customer didn't have to go to Marxies or go to somewhere else and try and find it, And again, that customer number one has now met the Kells boys, might buy stuff from Kells, knows that I've got his best interests at heart and will come back to me. So everybody wins. I think it can be nice now. There's plenty of other people out there that maybe wouldn't see it like that and would see that whole, kind of cutthroat style way of doing things. It's just not me, Martin.
No.
Yeah, it's not me either. But
not me either. No.
Yeah.
How do you pick someone's look?
How do you pick someone's look?
Yeah, do you pick?
Needs an amalgamation of both, because some people come in with a preconception that they're David Beckham and that they've got a picture of David Beckham on their phone and I want to look like that. Do you know? And jeepers, that's tough. And I've had numerous occasions where people come in with pictures of celebrities and go, I want to look like that, and you know what I mean. And you're trying to be as diplomatic as possible by lowering their expectations and going, actually, no, sir, we need to put you into this type thing. That becomes just part of the dance in our game, in our industry, because the last thing you want to do is look somebody up and down and go, not happening, mate. Do you know what I mean? You gotta try and diplomatically work through it. And generally, in fact, all the
not with those hips, mate.
No, exactly. Most of the time, like not most of the time, practically all the time, it always comes to a level. You always find the level.
This podcast is proudly sponsored by Branded Merch. Do your t-shirts look like they came free with the meal deal? Are you sick of merch and uniforms that look cheap, logos that peel, and tees that shrink after one wash? So are we. At Branded, we make merch that your team will actually want to wear. Whether it's uniforms, event gear, your own brand drops, or community merch, we've got you covered. We use premium blanks, proper printed embroidery, and we're upfront and honest about what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, what looks and feels great. No minimums, quick turnaround, and yeah, we actually care about the end product. If you're listening to this and thinking my team could do with some better threads, visit brandedlimited.co and let's make it happen. That's brandedltd.co. And as a listener to this podcast, first-time customers can get 10% off with code roundtable10 at checkout. Well, I guess the perfect time to ask you about something else then.
Go.
Let's go technical terms of like all the get-up of suits here.
Yes.
What do you think of a shade shirt?
What? Is this a proper shade shirt? Like from Shade Shirts?
No, it's my shade shirt.
Here, do you know what? I wear those shirts when I do Beach Club, when I do the Beach Club reunions.
Yeah.
That's the sort of shit I wear.
Like them,
but that is a shade shirt. That's class. Where'd you get it from?
I think my missus actually ordered it Sheen.
Oh my goodness.
We were going all this last year and decided that...
Martin, I think you could bring that as a look. Remember you were talking about your clothing brand, your line?
Brand, yeah.
Your line could be Marty's shade shirts.
We were going away last year, a couple of couples, and we decided we were going to do a shade shirt there.
Yeah.
And that was the shadest one that I could find.
That is a shade shirt.
But the problem is we're going away again in a few weeks here.
Yes, that has to be your shade shirt.
I know.
Just regurgitate it. Don't buy a new one.
No.
That can just be your shade shirt.
So I don't have to up it?
No, don't up it. No, unless you get one with like turds over it. It's just a proper shade shirt. There is a company, like is it shadeshirt.co.uk? Oh, there is a company that literally just, all they do is shade shirts. Like legit.
You guys sell, well, don't want to say the word shade shirt.
Yes.
The suitors, like...
No, we don't do stuff like that.
Down in history.
Yeah, we do funky. We would do funky shirts. Yes. Now we're obviously a very tailored looking shop, but we do shirts with lots of beautiful patterns and paisley designs and prints, and we always keep a selection of that. But yeah, I'm never gonna have that in my shop, Martin. Definitely not. Definitely.
Thought you liked it.
No, definitely not. But I like it on you. I like it on me when I'm doing a Beach Club reunion. But yeah, no, because you need, see, within business too, Martin, within the menswear business, you can't be too singular focused either. You need to always have a broad range. And like we would maybe bring in a shirt that we know, we'll maybe bring in 15 of them. We know we'll sell 5 of them. We know we'll be stuck with 10 of them, but over a year, you know what I mean, we'll get the 10 of them sold. Yeah. But maybe that shirt is the one in the window that catches somebody's eye and attention in the window and brings them into the shop, and they maybe spend $1,000 on other bits and pieces. So we do have lots of beautiful pattern stuff too that catch people's attention.
Where do you see your game going in the next year, 5 years, 10 years? Do you see...
Right.
Are you guys set in time? Like, is it a...
Yeah, like a heritage type business where, I don't think our industry will change too much over the next 10 years. There's been an advent of, like AI and tech are obviously breaking into the market, and there's these scanners and stuff you can get. Some people in America have it, some people in Japan have it, where you walk in and you stand there and it scans you, and then all of a sudden, 2 days later you've got a suit. Fits like fuck all. It's crap, right? But it will get better, as you can imagine, with everything within that. There will come a point in time, probably the next 5 years, where yes, particularly in Japan, you can just walk into a shop, get scanned, and walk out the same day with as many suits as you want, as many shirts you want, all custom tailored and custom fitted. But for me, I think, particularly over here, Western society wise, we like people. People buy people still over here, Martin. And you know what? There's certain things that I hope that the AI and the tech just will not be able just to pick up nuances that I can see that a machine won't ever see. I'd love to think that.
I would hate if it did change, because this is going to sound very sad, right? I'll bring it back to Glenn's shop because that's my experience. Yeah. It's the only experience I have shopping today. Yes. So whenever I need a suit, it's the only time I go and I feel
into a shop with people, and
I feel like it's that old fashioned,
service.
Any other shop I go into, it's just scan the items out the door.
It's called transactional. It's just transaction. Yeah.
So like, to me, that feels like old time barter.
Yeah.
Yep. You go in, you get the banter, the laugh, and it's a bit of a social club. Yep. And you get what you want, and you go home. You've made a night out of it near enough.
See, I'm so glad you've experienced that through Glenn too, Martin, because I wish all other menswear shops were like this. That will be the savior of our industry. Absolutely. Yeah. That whole human interaction part, that's what we're about. Whenever I'm measuring it, I'm touching your body. I'm measuring your inside leg.
I've had like Glenn's been tucking my shirt on.
Absolutely, like it's
right there. Like,
I'm in your personal space. There's very other. I can't even think of any other apart from like a masseuse or your doctor or whatever are ever going to be that close to you. So hopefully that stands the test of time. Or I'm gonna put it like this: I'm 42, coming 43. I need another 20 years out of this, like minimum. So I'd like to think the industry will stay very, 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 very similar to what it is.
I think there's a need for it. I think there's a need for it, especially for men.
Men, you're right. Men need to try stuff on. Need to feel stuff, Martin. You need to look at them and say, "Look, men aren't good at buying stuff online, and then it comes and they try it on, it doesn't fit, and they send it back." We don't care about sending stuff back. It goes in the corner, and you say, "I'll send that back next week," and then you never send it back, and all of a sudden there's another 10 of them, and then all of a sudden you've got flipping £1,000 worth of stuff you're never going to wear sitting in the corner. So men go, "I'm never buying anything online again." Yeah, I
definitely need to try stuff on, like fitting wise. I have to.
I can see on your frame, on your shape, absolutely getting them thighs in. Flip me.
Yep.
Yeah. That's, I can say, I'm eyeing you up, going cheapers. Yep, shoulders and thighs. Like what we call our rugby build. Yeah.
If I was in your jurisdiction, you would have had your work cut out for you.
I know, but I'm glad the Glenn's got you. Stick with him.
Let me see. Birkenstocks.
Yes.
Personal advice again.
Oh God, I'm so flipping cut on those.
Do you like them for that? I'm thinking about a pair.
Right.
For holidays.
So I can so see how anyone would hate them. Right. Me personally, I don't own a pair. My wife and my 2 kids have them. I've obviously been in the cafe business, so I've watched all our chefs wear them. Right. So I sort of have that paradigm that they're flipping chef. Well, they are chef shoes. That's what they are, right? They're chef shoes. But honestly, Martin, I wear Crocs a lot. So they're like a nicer version of a Croc.
Crocs are great.
I know. I wear Crocs all the time. I'm glad to say I wear them all the time. So me, yes, I'm with it, mate. I'd be a Birkenstock. I am. In fact, after having this, I'm going to go home and buy a pair. I'm going to be a Birkenstock guy.
Perfect.
There you go. Definitely. I think they're all right. And I wear them with socks.
I'm buying a pair too. With socks?
Yep, with socks.
Well, I'm going on holidays. I wasn't wearing socks on holidays.
No, you could go out without socks, but I think they're lovely. See, just nice, like what you've got on. Really nice fitted t-shirt, proper kind of slim pair of shorts, wee pair of Birks, and a nice pair of socks. I think it's class.
Decision made. The Birks are being ordered.
Done. Get them bought.
Chris, back to business, right?
Go.
General stuff. What's been your best ever day in business?
Best ever day in business.
What's that memory for you?
Ooh. Right, honestly, first day Frampton came in. No one's ever... There's that fly. I'm going to whack him and he's going to come over there now. He hit that. Yeah, I got him this time. Look, he's still going.
That fly has been alive. And by the way, just for record, by Chris, I haven't touched it.
I know. No, it's been me every time. I'm going to have the flipping green piece on, giving off about all the flies. Flies 100%. There you go. Flies not harmed. No harm. I wouldn't hurt a fly. Probably from, because back then, wee Carl was like, he was the biggest news in the country, and it was right at the height of his career and stuff like that. And whenever he came in, like, I felt a shift. I'd done sort of influencer stuff before with other people, and other marketing strategies too, to kind of build the business. Because whenever I came into the business, Martin, like, our business had been there since 90, it's probably been there, what was it, 19 years? What's that? Yeah, it'd been there a good long time, right? And whenever I went into business, and whenever I was taking over Dad's parties, like, son, business isn't broke, don't try and fix it, right? But as time went on, looking at the numbers, looking at the money we were making and stuff, like, I'm going, flip me, lads, we need to be able to be making more money in this, because, like, we didn't make an awful amount of money, Martin. To be fair, I probably, even though I'd bought into the business, I probably could have got paid more going and working on Tesco's. And I'm going, this is, we've such a heritage here. We've been in business for a long time. Souter brand's good. There's got to be a way to make more money at this game. And that's when I kind of then took control of the business from a marketing perspective and really drove the business. And whenever Card came through, and the first thing I think I done for Card was a black suit for an event, but then I done his MBE stuff. And whenever it went out, Carl Frampton MBE wearing Souter Brothers and all the rest of it, like, literally the social media and everything exploded, and the amount of emails and messages and phone calls, oh, seeing you done from, can I come down and see you for the amount of business we got off that, like, literally overnight, bang, all of a sudden it put Souter Brothers from a relatively well-known, like, older man's shop, if you would call it, to flip these boys kit out boxers. Because I'd done Michael Conlon the month previous for RTE, and then all of a sudden Frampton the month after. That was just a really good wee time. So from a marketing perspective, definitely it was Frampton. Well,
it's obviously it's a big day. Like,
it was a big day. And it was class, and looking back now, that was a good time. Another one, sort of business to business, Martin, was probably opening that cafe and actually having it open. The first day we opened, and the place was literally bunged out the door. Like, that was class too, because again, the hoops and hurdles that we had to jump over to get that cafe through was just opening a business nowadays, like, it's so hard. And again, all the when you try to do things, things are easy if you try to do things cheap and try and not follow the mold. I'm not like, I try to do everything by the book. See, when you try to do things by the book, the amount of red tape and hurdles that people put in front of you are just flipping wild. So getting that open was a big move.
How do you make a business decision? Is it gut or logic, or do you crunch the numbers, or do you just go what you feels right?
Honestly, everyone's going to say it's a bit of both, Martin, but I would say more gut.
More on gut?
Absolutely. I'm a field sort of a guy. And then what I'll try and do is mash the figures and the numbers to make it work afterwards, just to prove that my gut was right. Oh, I'm that guy, totally, like. Yeah.
Scariest business decision you remember that seems small now?
Giving up my body shop to move into the Souter Brothers shop, because again, now at the cars, again, we weren't making a whole lot of money, but my goodness me, it was my business. It was called SQ Design, but everybody knew it as me. And again, Martin, we're back to what we started to start about that failure thing. I totally worried that it would look like I had just jumped ship and got off lightly to join, my daddy's business. See what that took in my mindset to go from being, a solo entrepreneur as such, and, proud of myself, and dad proud, and family proud, and Nicola proud, and everybody, you're doing your own thing and all the rest of it. Making that decision to pivot, knowing that the car industry because see, back then, I actually forgot to talk about this, back then, one of the main reasons for leaving was because of my lung situation and the early onset COPD. My doctor told me, Chris, if you stick at the cars, you're going to be dead in 10 years. Literally told me, he says, you will not see your 40th birthday. So that kind of made the decision for me, but being able to pivot, Martin, whenever it seems like, for your pride and ego, the complete wrong thing to do, that was a hard move. That was a hard move, because I knew there would be people out that maybe didn't like me or didn't see eye to eye, and the first thing they're going, Souter's out of that there, he's now went into his daddy's business. There's still guys on Reddit and all that flipping troll me, and that's what they say, I took over his daddy's business and his daddy did this for him, his daddy did that for him. And you're never gonna please them people,
Ego definitely is a killer of dreams.
Mm-hmm,
because
definitely.
You are working and basing all your decisions off of feeding an image, so people that you don't even know or care about like that image of you.
That's right.
Which isn't you.
That's right.
Because you want something else.
Totally. And you think of it, their opinion of you, not saying their opinion of you is none of your business.
No.
It's none of your business. So that took me That took me a while just to get through. But do you know what, Martin? Whenever I joined the suit business, I knew that I could add value to it. I knew that I could change it. I had to hold off for a wee bit because my dad says, you're coming, like me and my brother. My brother had to accept me into the business too, don't forget, because I was taking over dad's part and he was already there. And like me and him, 10 years apart, always done the very, very best. But big step for him too, having the wee brother coming into the business, like on a level-ish playing field, who has got no experience as such working there, even though I worked there from I was 13. I was in the shop from a young age doing the door. And like here's one of my earliest memories, Martin, you'll not believe this. One of my earliest memories at 13 years old was my job at Christmas every single day. And once I was off school, I was in the shop at security. I stood at the door, made sure nobody shoplifted stuff, because shoplifting back then in Belfast was a nightmare. And at night, I had to pat the jackets for incendiary devices.
Oh, really?
That was my job. Right, son, do the jackets. And I go around and had to pat every one of them to make sure there was no incendiary device put in the pocket, no bomb.
Usually when things like that happen, it's
yes,
so,
it had happened.
So that had happened and it became someone has to check?
Yes, absolutely. So like that was the crack. That was our gig. And we did that for years until the flipping Good Friday Agreement. Do you know what I mean?
What happened then?
And then our shop, we'd found one in our shop, yeah. Yeah, and it didn't blow up. We found one. But it had blown up in there was one had blown up in I forget the company. It's actually happened loads of times, Martin. But there was one specifically who was close to us, who our guys knew really, really well, and it burnt their shop down. It was Curly's. It was. But anyway, same thing. Incendiary device, put the jacket back, boom.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Really, really mental.
Crazy. But that's just the way it was.
Biggest mistake you've ever made in business?
Biggest mistake I've ever made in business. Oh, right. Let me think. That's a good one, Martin. Biggest mistake. I have a good one. Well, no, I'll not say that. No. It was about investing in someone.
Now I want to hear that one.
I know, it was about investing in someone whenever... yeah, actually well said, because in case not that he'll ever watch this, right, because he's obviously big news now. Nico needed money, right? And he asked me for money, and I didn't want to invest in him because I didn't think it would ever flipping go where it's went now. If I'd invested in Nico and I'd flipping demanded a part of his business, whatever, and you look at what he's done with it now, you know what I mean? I could have been a shareholder of that.
Doing very, very well.
He's doing really, really well. So, yeah, Nico, should have bought in. But anyway, I'm glad I didn't, because then we're still mates, we're not business partners, you know, that sort of thing. What else? Worst business. In business, worst mistake. Martin, that's a really, really difficult one. You know me, I'm a very positive person. And even when I do make mistakes in business, even though there might not be massive, when I make mistakes, I fix them very, very quickly, and I actually use me fixing them as another tool to, you know, make like a good scenario out of it as such. But no, I've never truly, excuse my language, but I've never truly fucked anyone ever in business. So I've never made a mistake that I'm not proud of, if that makes sense.
Do you treat mistakes as lessons?
Absolutely. I am a big, and again, whenever I'm doing my mentorship with the kids stuff, I am a big proponent and a big backer of failure. I think failing's wonderful. Absolutely flipping wonderful. I think we all need to fail a shitload more, because if you're failing, at least you're trying. Do you know?
It's that old saying, fail forward.
Fail forward. Love that. That's forward. It. Fail forward.
When was the day you knew you'd made it?
Still not. Haven't made it yet, Martin. But thank you for presuming. I'm saying that. You know what? Yeah.
Well, you're no welfare shop. So when was the day you said my life's alright?
Yeah. I know what you mean. I actually can remember, but it's very materialistic. It was a day during COVID, and I had all the cars that I wanted, and wife and the 2 kids in the house. And the business was shut, and there was no money coming in.
George came first there, like.
But I was like, I remember them lined up, and I was cleaning them all, I was polishing them and everything, looking back on. You know, that's all right. You know, and you know, because obviously with all the stuff that was going on in the world, and God love it, like touch wood, I didn't have anybody close to me that died, and I bet if I had somebody close to me that died, that my opinion on this would be slightly different. But I remember COVID and just thinking, do you know what? We'll all get through this. I know we'll get through this, and I remember thinking that even if we don't get through it, I'm financially secure enough that if the shop doesn't open, I'll be all right. I think that was at that point. Was that 20? That's 20. Yes, 2020. 5 years ago. I remember thinking back then that if shit hit the fan, I'd be all right. So I suppose that if that is you've made it. But I would never want to get complacent, Martin. That I've made it, because like my kids are 12 and 14 now. They've got university stuff like that coming up, and if they want to go to university, and probably weddings and marriages and stuff. So I'm going to need a shit ton more dough to pay for all that too. Yeah. So no, I think it's nice to stay hungry too at the same time, and never just rest on your laurels and think, well, here, life is wonderful, because you get complacent then, and not even that I'm worried about the complacency. I need drive. I wake up every day, Martin, like I've not 2 days together to try, you know what I mean? Seriously, to try and get through and just make every single flipping pound that I can somehow. So,
one of my other questions here, and I think you just answered it, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think you've made it when so many others don't?
Ah, right, okay.
Do you think it's that you wake up?
I suppose you could argue it's the hunger, and it's the ability to fail. Like, because like categorically, like the car body shop side of things, like it lost money. It was not a success. Like, it was definitely not a success. Let me see what else. Yeah, that's a difficult question to answer, Martin, because it's a mindset thing, I suppose. And it's that I just I'll just always, no matter what, whoever kicks me in the balls or gets punched by Andy Malone and knocked down, I'll keep going. Like, it was the ref in the boxing match today, it was the referee had to stop it. I was keeping her lit, even though I had my flipping face punched in. But when I was still getting back up again, and he knocked me down twice, and I got flipping back up twice, and then the ref waved it off right at the end of round 2. So it was a 3-rounder right at the end of round 2. Andy had wound me up that he was going to take me out. Souter, done on one. So I made sure I got through the first round. I actually had him. I had him beat. The worst of it was I had him beat. And
so you reckon only if that ref you'd had him?
Honestly, well, no, adrenaline took over. So what happens is you get in there, and we're going on the flipping boxing now. You get in there and like literally through this flipping left jab, right cross, and I caught him square on the nose. 12-ounce gloves. I clocked him. His eyes went back in his head. I've got loads of great pictures of it. And literally, he was gone. But then I got this massive, what's called an adrenaline dump. And it happens to a lot of boxers and sport people, where literally the adrenaline shot up. I've got him, you know what I mean? I'm about to knock him out. And the adrenaline shot up so much that my arms dropped. And I literally could barely move my arms. The adrenaline took over and nothing would work. And I'm going, I just want to punch him, and I fucking can't punch him. And anyway, that allowed him. By the time I then got composed again, he then was able to come back at me, and that was my one chance over with. But no, I'll just keep going, Martin. And you know what? I have a really good, positive outlook on life. That we're yes, that old saying that we're here for a short time and all that sort of stuff. But life is just what you make it, good or bad. And I've been on the downside, Martin. Like back whenever I got ill, like my life was fine. There was nothing wrong. Everything was great. It's just that I'd pushed my body too far, took on too much, and my body just shut down, and my mental health literally went through the floor. Without going too much detail, as low as any human can get, if you understand me. Awful. And again, part of what I struggled with back then was like, I knew, like, I had everybody coming around, but Chris, you okay? Everybody's good. You're healthy. You've got a family. You've got all this stuff, etc. But if you're not looking after yourself and your mind isn't in the right place, it's all bullshit. It's all relevant.
Yeah. Is that why you focus so much on your health and mental wellness?
Totally. Now? I will be a wellness advocate until the day I die, because I know what happened to me, Martin, when I wasn't looking after it. So does that apply to my business then? Yes, it probably does. That I will just keep looking at it, keep regurgitating it, keep moving forward. If something shit hits a fan, I'll go again. If shit hits a fan, I'll go again. Hopefully it doesn't hit the fan. But I am fully aware that if it does, I have the ability and I have the drive and I have the want and the need just to keep pushing on.
I would say we're pushing on the 2-hour mark here now, so I want to try and fast track a few questions here at the end.
Go.
Quote from Tony Robbins. You have 2 businesses.
Yes.
The one you're currently in day to day and the one you want to become.
Yes.
You have to focus on both, because if you over focus on one, you lose the other one.
Yes.
How do you treat that?
Or like the man that chases 2 rabbits catches none. That's an all. Yep. She read that last night. I just have 7 rabbits and hope that I catch one of them.
Just have
so many. I was actually reading it last night. A man that has 2 rabbits chases 2 rabbits catches. That's really poignant. But I've got about 7 or 8 rabbits or something going on, like, so I'm bound to catch one of them. Do you know what I mean?
Give me 30 rabbits with a machine gun. I'm getting one.
I'm going to get one of them. Absolutely. So I know the tailoring side of things, Martin, is probably like the DJing side of things is the is the vanity project as such. It's the stuff that's just really, really different and cool and quirky, and you make good money at it too, and it's different, but it's hard. My favourite business out of them all is the Airbnb stuff. See Donegal, see having our beautiful wee cottage up in Donegal, and letting people go up to Donegal, Martin, and experiencing what it's like up there, and the feedback that I get from that. I love that. I absolutely love that, and it's lucrative too because of where it is and what it is, right beside the singing pub and Downings in a beautiful area. It's my number. Like if I had to chase one, I would probably give everything up and do more holiday lets in Donegal. Yeah. Might happen. Heard it here first.
Do it.
Yeah.
If your life was a movie, what do you think the audience will be screaming at the screen for you to do right now?
Slow down, because I'm a bit at the minute, Martin. This last month and a half, 2 months, I've taken on so many external stuff, including my new project up in Donegal and the house itself that I'm doing bits and pieces to. I've got a project on in my own house, and then I've got all the DJing, and I've got the DJ gigs there's just loads of them at the minute, and I've said yes to them all because I know I can do them. Shop's busy, and then I've got my 2 kids off school at the minute for summer, and trying to do stuff with them, and also life at the minute is just very, very busy. So I would say people be shouting to slow down, because they've actually, one of the things, the first thing that my therapist worked with me after the breakdown was, Chris, see when you feel that you're getting a wee bit overwhelmed, one saying, just keep saying yourself, slow down and prioritize. Slow down and prioritize. And I know by the end of next week, Martin, remember that day I'm DJing 4 nights next week. I know by that Saturday that I'm doing the 2 gigs back to back and working the same day, that I will be telling myself by the time it says, Chris, just fucking slow down and prioritize. So on Sunday, I will be slowing down and prioritizing my family, and I'll spend time with my kids and my wife, and we'll go for dinner and relax and do all that sort of stuff.
Nice day then.
Yes.
You need days like that though. Best advice you've ever been given?
Best advice I've ever been given.
And who from?
Oh, I love this. Love this, and I've got the answer. Take the money, take the money, and take the money. And the advice given to me was my dad. He says the first three rules of business: take the money, and take the money. And let me quantify and clarify that, Martin, because actually another one, my Uncle William, whenever I opened the body shop, he says, Chris, no matter what you do, watch your overheads. I thought that was a good one too, watch your overheads. And that's something that's always stuck by me. You know, watch your rent, watch your rate, watch your electric, watch those input costs. But about the take the money thing, because a lot of people struggle with this. Businesses exist only to make profit. At the end of the day, that's all they truly, really exist for, because without profit, nothing else works, right? Nothing works. So it's mission statement, it's service to its people, it's service to its customers. Nothing, absolutely nothing works without profit. So by having that at the forefront of your mind when you go into business, that right, the first thing I need to do here, I need to get this business into the flipping black. It can't always be in the red. That is one of the most poignant and purposeful lessons that rings true with me every single day. That, okay, we're in business. Yes, I'm here to have a good time. I'm here to dress people up and make them look good and make them happy. I'm here to look after my staff. I'm here to pay everybody well. I'm here to make money myself, you know what I mean? But that only exists if all transactions throughout that day turn into profit. Do you know what I mean? So take the money, and take the money. That's good advice.
I like your dad's advice.
I know, and again, you try to balance that out without the kind of the Gordon Gekko greed as well, you know, greed is good type thing. That I am not just a money hungry business person. It's not that. It's like a softer approach to it, which is just take the money. Just make sure you're taking money. Make sure your business is cash flowing. Make sure there's profit at the end of it, because there's no point working for nothing, Martin. You might as well, as we said earlier on, go and get a job. And you're in business, you'll be making money.
No, if there's no profit, there is no business.
There is no business, and that's where all the other semantic stuff, which is very important to you, I say semantics, very important. Like, you know, your staff are so important. You know, your own mental health and well-being within your business is so important. Your customers and your clients, of course, they're important. But the profitability of the business, nothing else matters if you don't control that.
Well, if there's no profit, there's no jobs.
There's nothing.
You know, there's nothing.
Remember that in the morning. Take the money. See if somebody's standing there with money, Martin, they want to give you it just take the money.
Take it. Right. 2 last questions to tie us up. One nice one, and you can't use Carl Frampton for the answer.
Right.
Best experiences your lifestyle or business has given you. What are those pinch me moments where you thought, holy shit, how did I end up here?
Oh.
Or how did I get this experience?
Oh. Right, okay. Oh, good one. Good one. Right, good one. I offer a bespoke custom tailoring service on Savile Row. And the only reason I can do that is that Holland and Sherry, one of our cloth suppliers, opened up a beautiful showroom on Savile Row, and they allow certain custom tailors within the UK to use it as their base. And I remember last year, they allowed us to start last year. Last year, standing on Savile Row after just meeting my first client on Savile Row, doing the measuring, doing the design, blah, 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 doing everything. And me standing outside Savile Row, surrounded by the most heritage-based industry, probably one of the most heritage-based industries in the world, which is men's clothes. Men have worn clothes forever. Standing in Savile Row, surrounded by all my peers. Do you know what I mean? You had Henry Poole, you had Kilgore, you had Oswald Boateng. Do you know what I mean? Surrounded by all these, and there's me standing in Savile Row after just filling a client on Savile Row. That was flipping class. I got a picture and all that, and I just think, this is flipping class.
If I'm right, that's where like that's where everybody that's been great over the years has all been dressed. Yeah,
that is the epitome. That is the hub of men's tailoring worldwide.
And like all them shops are going back
100 years. Yeah, and that's the epitome of it. So I remember that pinch me just going, you know what, this has worked out all right. Like this is because I love the crack too. Like I love doing stuff that's different. I'm going, here I am, wee kid from Belfast. Do you know what I mean? Okay, brought up in a tailoring family, but like menswear family. Here I am, standing on Savile Row with people coming to see me on Savile Row. That's just, walking out with Souter Brothers out of, a Souter Brothers bag out of Savile Row. Flipping class. What was the next one?
Just to end of this, so Chris, what is next?
What is next?
Are you going to slow down?
Hopefully. Well, what is next? Definitely the counsellor thing. Yeah, definitely need to get into civic leadership somehow. Do you know what, Martin? I've give civic leadership such a hammer in the media over the last flipping decade that it's time for me to put my time where my mouth is, as such. And I'm going to get on the inside and I'm going to see what it's like. It might be as much of a shit show as we all think it is. And if it is, I will come out and I will tell people. I'll not be, because again, I have no party political connections or affiliations. I am attached to nobody. I follow nobody's politics. I follow nobody's line. I'm going to get in there as a business person and I'm going to tell people what it's like.
I hope you do, because if it is such a shit show, it'd be good for the public to even know it.
Yes, it would.
It's like, it doesn't matter who you vote for, you can't help it.
There you go.
Or if you can get in, you go, guys, we can fix it.
Yep. Absolutely.
We need to back the right people. We're going to put these schemes out, vote them, whatever way it works.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to know, can politics actually work?
Can it work?
Or is everybody just stopping everybody?
Yep. Can we get away from orange and green politics over here somehow? And look, we'll see, Martin, I might be wasting my time, pal, but look, we're going to give it a go, and I say I will be that accountability type structure for it anyway. I'll just tell people as it is, because I have nothing to lose at it. I've only good intentions, and I do hope, like I do hope when I do get, if I do get in, that that it is fixable, and that I can add value to it, and that I can bring something new to it. That'd be lovely. That'd be nice. I think that as a legacy thing too, because I've been so involved with the city over so many years. I would like to at least be able to leave something within the city, not just the fact that I had a shop in it for so many times. I'd like to actually have something meaningful within it, because I love Martin. I love Belfast. I love every day I drive into it. It's my wee city. So I'd like to give something back to it.
Good note then.
Vote Suitor.
Vote Suitor.
If you're in Ormiston, out in East Belfast.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for coming
Pleasure.
on. I know we had a bit of a struggle nailing you down because you're a busy man.
I know, but here, answer you. So, but look, we've got there, and we've killed a few flies, or maybe not.
Killed a few flies. It's probably still alive, is it?
I think it is. It's down and about there somewhere.
Yeah. But listen, thank you very much for coming on, and safe drive home.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mark.